Hello, everyone, and welcome to the only Nintendo Switch cast that we'll ever do on this channel, whatever this channel is called at the moment, not really sure. My name is Mike, and I'm going to be hosting this bad boy this evening, but along with me are two of my friends that also have Nintendo Switches, and I'm going to start with my boy Chris, sitting to my right. Who you
How's
can't
it going?
see. Yeah, that's all you're going to say.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
all I gotta say. What
That's
else am I gonna say?
Short and sweet. And I've also got my buddy Kevin.
What's up, Mike? How you doing?
We're sitting in a car, and it's
Oh.
warm now, but it's going to get colder. Somehow
alright.
this was the best place to record, so we're just
Yeah.
going to get right into it. We both got Nintendo Switches on release, at the midnight release, and we've been playing them for, today's the 15th, so it's been out for 12 days now, as of this recording. So we've all got our own impressions of the system, whether that be with Zelda or with different games like eShop releases or physical releases. And so we're just going to talk about some different points that we had in mind. If at any point you're like, hey, I want to hear more from these guys, click that subscribe button and stay tuned for more podcasts because there will definitely be more. But we're just going to launch right into it. And we're going to start with like our first impressions of the system. So I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the system is really sturdy. Like, I guess we should probably start with hardware. That's a good place to start. I don't know. So the screen itself, let's start with that. It's a touch screen. It's an LCD screen. It's plastic. It's like a plastic surface on it. It's not glass.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird choice, but
Disappointing.
I think it's kind of, I don't know. I think it's fine for what it is. I think it makes the price of the system a little bit cheaper, so that's fine. But what do you guys think about like the Joy-Cons?
Well, Joy-Cons, I think, are some of the best controllers I think I've ever used at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely some of the best from Nintendo in terms of, their like gimmicky style of things. And I think it's, I was really, really concerned at first, thinking, they're really small. I've got pretty decent sized hands. I may have a little bit of a problem there with, cramping or whatever.
Yeah.
But to be fair, they're really comfortable. And when you slot them into the Joy-Con grip, I mean, I have the one that comes with the console. I didn't get the charging one, but it's comfortable, and it works really well. And I thought that having the second control stick directly below your A, B, and X, Y buttons was going to be a little bit of an issue with, moving your thumb straight down instead of like at an angle on an Xbox controller or even on like a PlayStation controller. But I think that it's doing quite well. I'm really enjoying the feel of it. I've got a little bit of hands-on with Zelda and snipper clips and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I think that the fact that the console comes with two controllers is
basically, yeah.
Yeah.
I think everyone felt the same way about the Joy-Con at first, in that they look really, really small, so they don't look like they would be comfortable to hold. I don't know if you guys have played with like a Joy-Con in each hand, just kind of to the side, like they kind of like hilariously showed off at that event with the guy lounging back.
Yeah,
I
but,
have.
oh my God, that is the most comfortable thing
it's
to do.
so casual.
I've got to be honest. I'm gonna drop in right here and say that took the Switch to the bathroom with me one day, popped the Joy-Con off, and just leaned back, and let me tell you, that was the most pleasant toilet console gaming, probably only toilet console, home console gaming experience I've ever had.
See,
Yeah, so Kevin.
I'm in the same boat as you, Chris. I have pretty decent sized hands too, and I was worried about it, but they are very comfortable. But the same with the Joy-Con grip controller that came with the console. But I also brought the Pro controller, and the Pro controller, in my opinion, I like it a lot. I think it's one of the best controllers ever made.
Yeah,
It's
I
right
agree.
up. It's right up there with the Xbox and PlayStation. Although I put Xbox above PlayStation. But anyways, the Pro controller has everything that the Joy-Cons with the HD rumble, the motion sensor, and it has everything, and the fact that you can also charge it. It's rechargeable, and you can just plug it into the side with an HD, and it's also Type C.
Have you used it in Zelda?
I've been using
Okay.
it all the time in Zelda. I love it.
Have you used the built-in gyroscope on the controller for any of the shrines yet?
The gyroscope. Explain more.
Like the labyrinth, the ball labyrinth.
Yeah,
one.
so,
yes,
yeah, we have to tilt the controller.
Yep, I did have to do that.
It works insanely well.
It does.
It works really like there's one, and I'm not going to spoil much on Zelda because we're not going to talk about the story, I don't think. But getting into like the shrines of Zelda, like especially like the labyrinth ones, like the ball maze labyrinth ones, I rotated the controller like all the way around to like rotate the ball through this like
style.
like style.
Yeah,
I thought
it's
that
like
was
a maze
super.
and
It
stuff.
just works really well. Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
What I did with the controller, it was by accident. I accidentally popped it up, and the ball went in, and it went on the other side of the wall. I'm like, oh, okay, that's easy. And then I just, from there, just had to do it with the Pro Controller.
Yeah, it works super well.
It does.
I was really impressed.
And it also has, you can also use the amiibo, so you just plop it down in the middle, and it'll read the amiibos.
Was it on the Pro Controller?
Yeah, it's on the Pro Controller. Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah, the Pro Controller does
That's
everything.
awesome.
Yeah, it does everything
That's insane.
that the Joy-Cons can
I
do,
had no
except
idea.
come apart, of course.
That's
If
where
you
I.
do that, you'll break
That's
it.
where I've slacked in that I own every amiibo, but I haven't scanned a single one into my Switch yet.
Oh.
I'm really dropping the ball there.
Yeah.
You just didn't want to spoil Zelda. It's okay. I understand.
I wanted to wait till after,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
I was like, I don't want to rely on any of the amiibo stuff for the story. But
Yeah.
that's getting too far into Zelda. I want to keep focusing on the hardware. The Joy-Con are like surprisingly comfortable.
Yeah, they're
So comfortable that I actually purchased a Pro Controller on launch and returned it because
really?
I didn't think that I needed it.
Honestly,
I got it because I was concerned about the hand size.
Honestly, if I hadn't bought a Pro Controller and I would have played with just like the Joy-Con grip, I probably would not have ran out and bought a Pro Controller yet. Although they're awesome, and if you feel like you need like the more traditional controller shape when you're playing one, they're awesome. I mean, there's like some little stuff about the Pro Controller that's kind of weird, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, it's awesome. You should definitely grab one with your system if you're looking for that kind of experience.
Can we get back to the screen a little bit?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
let's
sure.
go ahead.
So I think that the build quality between the Joy-Cons and the screen is like incredible, and I think that this iteration is literally what the Wii U's gamepad should have been all along.
That's my thought process.
Yeah, and I think that
Yeah.
I didn't purchase a Wii U. I thought it was
same here.
really expensive, and I mean it was insanely expensive when it came out. First off,
Yeah.
but it was even more so gimmicky than the Wii was, and just because it's like, hey, it's a Wii but with a touchpad thing, a Fisher Price touchpads, a lot of people call it. But I think that now with the ability, and I mean the Switch has a gimmick too, but I think the gimmick really works, and I think the gimmick is better developed and better designed than any other one has been before. And I think that it's a fantastic idea, and I think that being able to slot your controllers onto the side of it, pick it up out of the dock, take it wherever you want to go, and the screen quality, it may be plastic or whatever, but I know I've personally put a tempered glass screen protector on it, and it has made it, I didn't really like the touch feel of the plastic one, and I actually, on launch, I did buy a plastic screen protector as well, just from Best Buy, because my glass ones had not come in yet.
Yeah.
So I tried both of them. The plastic one was terrible. I was not a huge fan of it, but it was there, and it protected my screen for long enough that I didn't get anything on it until I got the glass one. But after getting the glass one now, I have to say that was probably the best $10 I ever spent.
Yeah. Well, best
Yeah,
5 because it came with 2.
Yeah,
and I bought the other one.
Exactly.
I ordered one offline too. It should be coming here in the next few days.
Yeah. And
Yeah, it's awesome.
have you noticed that, like, well, we'll get a little bit more into it later, but have you noticed that, like, after having the screen protector on, I feel like it fits the dock better. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Like it's not as loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, the thing fits pretty snugly into the dock in general, but there's just like not even a centimeter of space between the screen and the inside of the dock, and the screen protector is like really thin, but it does add that extra little layer to it does meet up a little bit
nice
better. I bet that is gonna drive all those people that are crying about scratch screens just absolutely fucking crazy.
yeah,
during
absolutely.
it. But so I think the hardware's super decent build quality. I think there's some little things about the system that kind of are weird, like the kickstand placement, or the kickstand in general is kind of flimsy. And to be fair, you can buy replacement kickstands for the Switch for $4 through Nintendo, which is insane that they even have to sell them. But $4, not so bad. But the fact that the kickstand doubles as a micro SD card slot, like that's where you pop in your micro SD card, I feel like that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
If that would have just been like a little like pop out like on the 3DS, I think it would have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
But that's just kind of like a minor gripe.
I think that having the cheap, flimsy kickstand, I don't like that it's kind of off to the right. If you're like facing the console, it's kind of off to the right side. Which
it's,
makes
like,
it
in the middle, maybe.
it makes it a little less stable. But then you wouldn't get that cool Switch logo on the back.
It's true.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
I
I
love
think
that logo.
it is really cool.
Well, I mean, I've used the kickstand and I haven't had any problems with it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I haven't
as
yet,
long as
no.
you don't, As long as you're not too rough with it, like
Yeah.
the CNET video there.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
You haven't
You haven't
that
seen
video?
that?
No, I
Oh
haven't.
my
gosh.
god, it's hilarious.
Yeah,
It's like one of
yeah.
those hilarious. A lot of people are calling it like an infomercial,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where you get those crazy people that are like, "Oh no,
Oh,
I can't use this
like
product
the guy
right."
sits down with
Yeah.
like the bowl of pretzels and like he just
Yep.
dumps them forward. Oh, come on!
Exactly.
I love that
That is
stuff.
almost
I've
exactly
even-
what it
That's the
looks
best.
I've
like.
even let my friends pull out the kickstand. They're not even. They know how to work it. I mean,
Yeah, I mean it's.
I had
it's-
like one moment where I like pulled it off like to like use it and it like clicked. And
yeah,
I was like,
that's what I thought. Yeah, I was like that too. And I'm like,
oh no! And then I looked at it; it was totally fine. That's
Yeah,
what's supposed
it's-
to happen.
it's
and I was
supposed
like,
to happen.
Okay, thank God.
yeah.
Ugh, yeah, but that was like the first time I'd used the kickstand too, and I was like, I almost had a heart attack because I didn't know you could even order extra ones.
The
But
fact that it's dirt cheap and it can pop off leaves a lot of customization options too. You could just like get a cool
Yeah.
looking, you know,
if they made
Metroid
like,
one or
different
something.
ones,
Yeah,
that'd be
exactly.
cool,
I
yeah.
think that would be really neat.
It's like a little customizability.
Exactly,
to
exactly.
the
It's
console.
not quite the
That's another thing that I thought of right away when they revealed the different colored Joy-Cons was
Yeah.
that like you have the issue of having like different colored systems now at this point,
yeah.
which is really smart of them. They don't have to make like 50 different SKUs for.
So
for
what are the
Switch
different
consoles.
colored Joy-Cons?
Well, right now there's
neon blue,
and neon red, and then there's the
Okay.
gray.
and then just
So
gray,
at launch,
okay.
you could do potentially 3 different colors for the system
Mhm.
without
okay,
doing
so
just like a mix.
Yeah.
You could do
Okay.
like gray, straight blue, straight red, or like
and,
a mix.
and which Joy-Con colors did you go with at launch?
Mine are gray. I went with the gray console.
I also went with the gray ones, too sleek.
So I'm the odd man out. I went with the neon,
Not by choice,
red and blue,
right?
but not by choice, because when I pre-ordered at GameStop, I was the very last one, and they had the neon blue and red. But I'm enjoying the neon red and blue. I really like it. And then on launch night, I was the very first one to get my Switch. So
That's
Works
fair
out.
enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got home from the midnight launch. I popped mine in, and I started up Zelda for half a second and saw the splash screen, and I was like, good enough, and passed out. Because it was just, I had to work the next morning. I was like, I'm not sleeping for 4 hours.
I didn't play too much of it either because
Yeah.
I had an interview the next day.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I was over, so I
Yeah.
just stayed up and played, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we played some Fast RMX. We played some
Snipper clips.
Snipper clips.
Yeah, it was great.
That's a fun game.
So-
I like that. So is Fast RMX.
So let's keep going with first impressions. I want to talk more about the software now instead of the hardware. So let's talk more about like the Switch's OS. I don't know if you guys noticed as you were going like through the initial setup or like just like the menus in general. It doesn't really feel like a Nintendo console
Not
in
at
that
all.
way. In that like if we're
It's so
looking at
smooth.
past
I feel like
iterations,
it's so
yeah,
smooth.
it is very smooth. And
It's
that's the
not
thing.
childish.
After the
Yeah,
Wii,
it's
after
not.
the Wii U. And how long the load times were between popping from an app to back to the home menu, dude. Even after they updated it and made it like more bearable, it was still just awful.
Yeah.
Like it took forever, and but I feel like it's sleeker. I think it's kind of missing that little like Nintendo charm to it.
It has a little bit with the noises and stuff that pops up, the
Yeah.
whistles and the
Yeah, the
Little
different-
stuff,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Like
so,
when it lets you know a friend is online,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
just pops up in the corner
Exactly.
there. I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah, it's like little stuff like that.
but it does feel plain. It's not like the 3DS. And some people are saying it's like a modified version of the 3DS's hardware, or so. I mean, software.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's for sure, but
I
I did hear about that. Yeah.
But I mean, I guess I can kind of see that with the tiles layout and stuff like that. Like a very.
I love the tiles layout. Though.
Yeah.
It's kind of reminiscent of the PS4's dashboard a bit.
Yeah.
Although not fully realized. I
Yeah.
think like now I don't know if you saw this. An article came out and I can't remember. I think it was on IGN the other day talking about how once you have 12 titles on the screen, it'll add like see all titles to the end. So I'm assuming that's like the PS4's library function
Okay,
where
yeah.
it'll like alphabetize it. You know.
That's interesting.
I think that's awesome. I wish that was just available at launch, but I mean, it's not like there's exactly a ton of titles to play at the
Yeah.
moment.
Do you
But
know
now
if
that they've added eShop stuff, it's
Yeah.
gotten a little bit
Do you know
more
if there's like a
diverse.
hotkey to get to the end and then go into that, or is it like you know?
That's a good question.
Because I know on the most recent update to the Xbox One, you can just press your right trigger and it'll bring you down
That's
to
what
all
I'm
your
thinking,
your
yeah.
pinned apps or whatever and stuff like that. It's really nice.
I don't
yeah.
know for sure, but I would imagine a tap of
Yeah.
the R button would just
Yeah.
send you right to the end. I'm
Yeah.
interested to see though. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I mean, I don't have 12 titles, so
Yeah,
Neither
no.
do I. Neither
I
do
gotta run through this in my head really quick. Zelda, Last Master, 1-2 Switch, Super Bomberman.
Just Dance.
Snipper clips. Don't have Just Dance.
Fast RMX?
No, I don't have Fast
You don't
RMX.
have Fast RMX?
I think I have 5 titles right now.
5 titles?
Yeah.
So I'm
That's
slowly
more than
but
me.
surely making my way there. But
Splatoon,
like with all the
Global
oh yeah no that puts me at 6 tiles technically. So I only need 6 more tiles and then I'll unlock that extra hidden feature of the Switch that
There you go,
only
yeah.
the elite have right now.
Yeah.
Buy all those Neo Geo games for $7.
Isn't that weird?
It
How
is strange.
No virtual console, but Neo Geo games, like right at
Yeah.
like
You know
right
what?
close to launch, for $8. I wonder if that's gonna dictate how virtual console titles
we'll
are priced.
see.
I just thought that was so funny.
If it's $7, I'm buying all of them. I don't really care too much about the Neo Geo, but like you give me GameCube games for $7.
Dude, if you give me
GameCube
I was sitting at work the other day playing my Switch, and I had the realization that if they add GameCube stuff, there's the potential they could add Paper Mario Thousand Year Door
Oh
to
my
the
God.
Switch.
That'd
If
be
I could
cool.
if I could play that on the go, I would literally cry tears of joy.
If they could like,
I wouldn't
release
give a
that-
shit if they kept making crappy Paper Mario games.
Oh,
I'd be like, I'd probably still cry inside, but if I could have my beloved Thousand Year Door on the go,
Yeah.
I would die. I would die a happy man.
to this day, that has to be one of the best
Dude,
games
it's
that I've
it's-
ever played.
It's in my top 5.
Seriously,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
as
And
a kid, I don't think I
and
ever
Zelda Breath of the
realized,
Wild's
but-
in my top 5. And I got to put that out there.
Well, you
That
just
Zelda
lost all
Breath of the Wild
credibility.
is in my top 5 games of all time. The game is great. The game is phenomenal.
So we still have. I think that like themes and stuff like that on the like
Like on
OS
the
in general.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like
just in
that.
general.
That's kind of what I was trying to compare to a little bit earlier.
Like on the 3DS maybe.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
yeah, exactly. I think that we'll probably see that in the future. Right now, they have the light and the dark themes.
Yeah, there's
Uh-huh.
2 built into the OS.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if it wasn't like a like pre-order bonus for digital games, like getting exclusive themes, or just like being able to outright buy them on the store and stuff like that.
Yeah, like what about that that Nintendo coins feature when you?
I think that's
a
like
pretty
through
cool
my
feature.
Nintendo maybe.
Yeah, is that
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that one?
My Nintendo,
something
you
there
can
too.
collect like the gold and the platinum coins or whatever, or points
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something. Yeah, I would be. It would be remiss of them not to feature that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just now I don't want to act like I'm talking about the themes on the system in a pejorative way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the 2 themes that are available are fine. I mean,
Yeah.
it's such a little
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I think
I
just a little
switched right over
customization.
to the black theme
So did I.
because I just feel like, especially when I'm looking at the screen at night, it's not as like blinding on my eyes to switch
Yeah.
from like Zelda
Oh,
to a
Yes,
bright white
yeah.
screen.
Yes.
Yep.
Always hated that about like the Wii and the Wii U. It drove me crazy.
It looks so good with those
just-
gray Joy Cons too.
It does. It looks awesome.
Sleek.
Yeah, it really flows with the whole system. It's awesome.
I mean, I like my neon, dude. My neon.
I'm
I
just
like
I'm
them.
just yanking your chain.
No,
A lot-
I love
it's
the
okay.
neon
The
Joy-Cons,
neon-
and I'm actually ordering a set of blue neon Joy-Cons.
Well, and you want to know what's super surprising is the fact that the neon
I'm sorry,
stock was
Joy-Con. That's the plural.
Joy-Con boys.
Joy-Con.
What's surprising is that the neon stock was so much more limited, and I feel like there was such a high demand for it. I'm amazed that you got the last one.
I know, right? But I feel like it adds more.
issues.
I mean, I haven't had any connection issues.
I feel like maybe
No, production issues.
Oh, production. I'm sorry, I didn't hear
No,
that.
I
no,
feel
you're
like
good.
maybe they made a bunch of gray ones, and then they were like, you know what we should do? We should add some colors, and
Oh,
then they
you
made
meant
like
like
a
maybe as a
quarter as
secondary
many
SKU
of
they
them.
added
Yeah,
later.
exactly.
That's
Well,
possible.
you know how they got the red and
Yeah, they
right?
actually they had the
It was
solid
by,
colors
It was by accident.
Yeah.
Somebody was playing with the colors and
because they were
flip
originally
them
going to
on.
release the red ones and the blue ones as pairs.
Well,
Yeah.
if we're looking at the numbers versus like the availability between the 2 SKUs,
Mm-hmm.
so far somewhere around like 1.5 million Switch consoles have been sold, which is awesome.
That
That's
is awesome.
it's
That's-
not even Christmas yet.
I mean, it's like
and that
sold
means it's
out.
been
You
sold.
can't- Here's the thing: is the system needs to sell close to 8 million, like by the end of their fiscal year, for it to be considered like a good, successful first year. I don't know
mean-
if it'll do that. I think it could, because I think with the amount of titles spread out, like you've got like your titles that won't sell Wii U Switches. I
That's
can't
fine.
believe
I
there's a
was
new
doing that earlier
Nintendo. I
this
can't
week,
believe
too.
there's a new Nintendo system. That's the weird thing.
Yeah.
I think that's the really surprising part. But just looking at the 1.5 million out there, if you equate that a fourth of those are probably like neon systems,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if you were right that it was something that later on they decided to add a second option because maybe they just assumed that they couldn't sell everyone
Exactly.
on like a boring gray console.
Yeah.
Although I've got to be honest, I looked at the 2 and I was like, I would rather have the stock boring gray console
Yeah.
because it's my OCD kicking in and being
Same.
like
Yeah.
gray
Oh,
console.
okay. I see what.
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
right
I
now.
just
Okay.
immediately honed in on that. but I'm ordering a set of the neon blues because I love how it looks on a Switch, like complete. I don't know if you've seen like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen. I've
If
seen
if the
videos.
reds didn't look so pink, I think
They're
I
a
would.
little bit darker, maybe.
Yeah, just a
Yeah.
little bit more
Just
red,
a
but I think
little
that
bit more
the
red.
neon aspect of it, which is when you pair it with the blue, it looks fine.
I guarantee you that they do the like neon, like the yellow and the purple
Yeah.
when Splatoon come out.
Oh,
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Would not
That'd be
shock
cool.
me in the slightest.
It would
if we
not
got-
shock me if we got different colored ones for like every major game that come
Yeah,
out.
like Mario.
Like
or
Arms.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Well,
wouldn't be
like-
shocked if they did ones. No, I wouldn't be shocked if they did ones for Arms.
I guess you're right. It's like
Since
the
they've got, like,
purple
the-
guy.
Yeah,
and
they've got like
yeah.
the
Yeah.
punch, like the gloves. The,
Exactly.
The boxing
yeah,
gloves
exactly.
and stuff. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. That'd be
I-
kind of. I'd be into that.
Exactly. Exactly.
They should do. They should do. Fuck! It's gonna drive me crazy. Like knuckle bars or whatever
Somebody's 3D printed those already.
for the.
Really?
yeah.
For the Joy-Con for Arms.
Mhm.
Oh,
there
yeah.
are people. There are people who have
I
3D
think I've-
printed those.
I
I
think
need
I've seen, like, a
solid metal
picture.
ones because I
Yeah.
need my Joy-Con to double as
Brass knuckles.
yeah, as brass knuckles. I wanna
Just in
beat-
case.
I want to beat the shit out of someone with
Somebody
Joy-Con.
comes up to you.
Joy-Con.
Yeah, don't mess with me, man. I've got my Joy-Con. And then they'll all like take their turns laughing, and I'll punch some dude's teeth out. Be like, thanks, Nintendo. That'll be the first headline. Everyone's like, are you serious?
You see. Man beats another
Yeah.
man with
Yeah.
Joy-Cons.
Yeah, thanks, Nintendo. are your kids safe around the Nintendo Switch? I hear video games promote violence.
Don't even start.
Yeah.
Don't even start on that. There's so many.
Going back to the sales, how many have Switches have been sold? You said 1.5 million.
1.5 million.
1.5.
Yeah, the projection was 2 million. The projection was 2 million, but I don't know when that's through. I don't know if they're talking like through the end of April.
I think they projected 2 million by the time.
Well, hasn't
I
it
think-
already sold out?
I think they were saying 2 million at launch, but I don't know if they had hit production issues or something,
Yeah.
or if they actually meant through like the end of March. Because if you figure another 500,000 systems getting out there in the open, like by the end of the month, and if you're looking at sites that are like randomly popping them up, like Walmart and Amazon,
Yeah.
or like sites that are doing bundles for them, like GameStop's doing like a $600 bundle that comes with a bunch of stuff. I think between all three of those, like random pop-ups and bundles, that they'll probably hit that 2 million by the end of the
I
month.
think that 1.5 million leaves out a couple of other key countries. I think Australia is not included in that.
Ooh, yeah, I think Australia's not, because that's
Not that they're
'cause
going to
that's
sell
accounting
500,000 units,
That's
but
accounting
Yeah.
for Asia, Europe, and the Americas.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Um,
So,
Well,
so it's
hasn't
across
it-
that.
and that was also after the first week, right?
Australia video games are insanely like expensive though. They're far more expensive than they are here.
Yeah, but I think that people are still going to go out and buy it. you
Yeah,
know?
I don't know if the data's out there yet for
Yeah.
Australia.
We'll see.
But,
We'll see.
Now,
They've got their numbers upside down, so they got to convert them for here.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Now, hasn't the Switch already outsold the Wii when it came out?
yeah, so
It
there's some
did.
stats
It
out there
has.
that the Switch is the fastest selling Nintendo console at launch in their history,
Which I think is great.
which is insane that it beats out the Wii and the DS.
I mean,
Both of those were crazy.
Yes.
Not the
mean-
3DS. Now,
And
the
more
3DS
reasonably
was,
priced,
was-
you know.
The 3DS, I distinctly remember 350,000 units in its first week,
Yeah.
which is nothing compared to this
Yeah.
thing. And it was
Yeah.
$50 cheaper. It was $250 at launch
Yeah.
for the 3DS. So
But that is this is like a promise of like full-fledged AAA games.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
3DS was like, hey, look, a Game Boy. You know?
and we're seeing that immediately. So I think we should probably just jump into talking about Zelda.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like Zelda is definitely. It's okay. I feel like Zelda is probably. Sorry, we have like a list of things we want to talk about. But yeah, Zelda is probably the next thing we should talk about, just because like it is like the promise of that quote unquote AAA experience right at launch. I think it's really interesting that something like Zelda is considered like a AAA like title success for a Nintendo console, and then you have games that are kind of similar in like their style, not necessarily gameplay, but style, like The Last Guardian or like Gravity Rush over on PlayStation, that don't even chart for their months that they come out, which is insane, by the way.
Yeah.
That The Last Guardian didn't chart. That game bombed.
That
There's
game
no
went-
way that game did well.
It was like 10 years in production, though, wasn't it? So.
Yeah, I think they honestly just
rushed it out.
Got it.
Yeah.
I don't-
Not rushed. It looked really good.
They just
it was
had
gorgeous,
to get it out there.
but, yeah.
They just had to get it out there. But yeah, I just think it's interesting that something like Zelda, but Zelda has this like built up like, Zelda is an institution
Yes.
since like, you know,
The 90s.
yeah,
Early
the
90s.
really, yeah. A lot of people like look back at their favorite Zeldas and they look at like Ocarina of Time and they look at like A Link to the Past. And I feel like Breath of the Wild is that like kind of perfect combination of both, and that like it takes like Ocarina's 3D like quote unquote open world style, and obviously just like blows out of the water in size because it's actually like technically capable now
Yeah.
to do so.
Yeah.
But then takes the exploration aspect of 2D Zeldas like A Link to the Past or like even
first-
the original one.
yeah.
I think the first Zelda is probably like the best inspiration for this one,
Yep.
but just fully explorable.
Exact. Yeah.
But I've beaten the game, and
Yeah, how many
I've
hours?
apparently only beaten 11% of the game.
how many hours
clocking
did
in at a little over 40 hours.
Does it tell you how much percentage you've beaten?
Yeah.
After
so
you beat it?
After you beat the game, if you
Okay.
pop into the Sheikah slate with the minus button, it shows you in the bottom left of the map how much of the game out of 100% you've complete.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
it said
That's cool.
exactly 11%, and I went and filled in my last tower that I had to activate, which is in the bottom right corner of the map. And that son of a bitch told me I had only completed 11.08% of the game. afterwards. And
funny.
now it's been discovered that completion rate on that game is not changed by shrine completion or amount of like hearts and stamina vials that you've collected. It is in fact triggered by places that you've discovered in the game. So if you go to like a random bridge, you've never been on that bridge before, and it pops up with the title.
Oh,
Like
interesting.
That's very
Zora's
interesting.
Bridge or something like that, or stuff like that. It will add to your completion percentage.
That's-
So there's no way to know if you've done everything in the game, but there is a way to know that you've 100%ed the exploration of the game.
That's really weird. I think that I like that exists, but
Yeah.
I also think that kind of takes away from the exploration aspect. Like,
Yeah, to
I
have, like,
can't,
a
I can't
number to
like,
it.
I can't like, oh, what's the fastest way to this place? Why don't I just climb this giant cliff and like walk over there? Oh, but then I'm missing out on a bridge that I should have passed before,
Yeah.
you know? So it's like,
Yeah.
I understand, you know? So I think that's like, maybe that detracts a little bit from like that.
I think it's
can
kind of
go any-
infuriating, actually.
Yeah, and especially
yeah.
since you can't figure out like all the places you've been.
But
I
Kevin,
guess.
I'll let you go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
For Zelda, I mean, this is my first Zelda I've actually gotten into, and I'm actually really liking Breath of the Wild. I mean, I haven't played any other Zeldas, but
Shame.
I know it's a shame. I
Yeah.
never get
Breaks
into
my
them though.
I know.
Never got into them for some reason.
We'll work on it. We'll get you there.
Yeah.
But Breath of the
Good time.
Wild, I really like it. I think the graphics are beautiful. I think it's a very well put together game. I like it. I only have 50 plus hours on it, and I haven't even beaten the game yet. So I
Yeah.
mean, I've only beaten 3 of the beasts, if you want to call them that.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
call them that.
Yeah.
I've only beaten 3 and 50-something shrines and
Yeah.
and all that. But I'm loving the game.
Just really quick, before we get more in depth with Zelda, I just want to mention that this will have minor spoilers. So if you're trying to avoid Zelda spoilers, maybe just click like a half hour or so into like later into this podcast. You'd probably be good.
Yeah.
Probably be good. Somewhere around there. Someone can comment that exact time or whatever. I don't really
Pin it.
Yeah. Someone I'll pin the comment. Yeah, first commenter to tag the exact moment when we stopped talking about Zelda wins a Nintendo Switch. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. I don't have a Nintendo Switch to give away, so you won't win a Nintendo Switch, but you will win a pinned tweet. A pinned comment.
Worth it.
And I'll retweet
worth
the tweet of your choice, as long as it's not inflammatory. Anyways, back to the conversation.
You can continue, Kevin. You got anything else?
Sorry.
You know what? I don't really have anything else. Just saying that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really enjoying the game. Yes, I did go out and buy the special edition guide to it, but I have not been using that a lot.
Mhm.
I've maybe only used it for 4 shrines, and that's about it. So much you can go. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so big. It's bigger than Skyrim's map.
I mean, it is
It's huge.
so satisfying to fill in the segments of your map by climbing the towers. That's all
Yeah.
I have to say.
I love
That
that.
is
Yeah.
literally that's like one of the first things I did was finish all the towers so I could get the entire map. Which
I love
thought,
that it's not one of those like the whole area is clouded out, and the more you descend,
Yeah.
the more it fills in like
Yeah.
a little like your path.
Mhm.
I hate that in games, but I love that. Yeah, it's like towers unlock regions
Exactly.
on the map. I think it's really
Exactly.
smart. Plus, it gives you like a good place to teleport to kind of like
Yeah.
know where
Yep.
to glide off to. You know?
And you
Yep.
yeah, and they're so high up you can just jump off and go wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then with the one special ability, you can go way up there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Um,
Okay,
so-
yeah.
Do you have anything else?
No, I'm good. If you want to talk about Zelda, you can go ahead and talk about Zelda now.
Oh,
Alright,
yeah, I want to
so-
talk about Zelda, but you can go ahead, Chris.
You sure? Okay.
Go
All
ahead.
right. So I think you and I will be similar on a lot of points since
Yeah.
Mike-
Actually, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Really quick, I just want to point out you were talking about your amount of time that you've spent on Zelda,
Uh-huh.
and I talked about how it took me a little over 40 hours. I have a buddy who's been playing Zelda, and he's played about 6 hours, and he just finished the first area of the game.
oh,
which
like the
means
Great
that-
Plateau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just finished the Great Plateau. That's
Hey.
it. So I was really
There's, I mean, even that zone
mean-
is bigger than like the Hyrule Field and Ocarina of Time. So like that's
oh, I mean, like
See, I might have to
far
go back.
bigger. Far bigger.
I mean, there's so much. There's
yeah, it's insane.
I can
yeah.
understand how you could get lost in that area and just like get immersed. Which
There's
is
so much, man, and like, so I like how the game introduces you to the shrine concept, where like you have to like actually look around and try to find them and pin them with like the Sheikah slate, so you know where to go on your map. I think
Yeah.
I think that promotes the whole exploration aspect
Yeah.
of the game. But I feel like once you get out of that first area, the game really picks up. Because it's kind of a slow start.
it is.
Even though it lets you go anywhere you want, you could. I mean, because theoretically, you can start a new game and get out of the Shrine of Resurrection and just run to the end of the game.
Yeah.
And beat it, which I really want to try, but I'd know I'd get my ass handed to me.
Somebody's beaten the game in like I think
58 minutes.
a little under an hour.
58?
Yep.
58
Wow.
minutes. It's insane.
That is
It's
absurd.
crazy to me.
Wow.
So I just thought that was really interesting. 6 hours just to like get through his like first area at the Great Plateau. There's so much exploration to it.
Which
It's
you
crazy.
know, I think that's a great amount of time. Like I as somebody who's played a lot of Zelda, I think that maybe
Yeah.
I moved through it a little quicker because I'm like I understand the concept of it
Yeah.
a little bit better. But I think that especially if you're like a new player, like I
Like
I
me?
could see myself getting completely lost in that zone and not leaving until like I get that there's like 4 shrines you got to do, but still,
Yeah.
you
See,
can get lost there. There's a lot of there's rivers, there's creeks, there's
Well, when you-
mountains,
And when you climb up a mountain, you see just like a vast amount of stuff in the distance.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the draw distance in the Switch version is a little bit better than the Wii U version. So I'm interested to see what it's like on the Wii U version to like kind of look
Oh
out
my
there and see.
just a gray wall.
But
it's not
you
gonna
seen-
be like it's not gonna be like Black Ops 3 on the 360, is it?
have you seen
No
have you
idea.
guys seen that image of I don't. It can't be legit. It has to be like a fake like cutout or something. But someone took a GameCube and took a copy of the Wii U game and cut it to be the size of the GameCube disc and put it in the GameCube. And I just cringed so badly. But yeah, it was. I'd be really interested to see what it's like on the Wii U. I've heard the load times are a little bit worse on the Wii U. The load times on the Switch are not that bad.
They're really
No,
fast.
They're pretty fast.
I know people will do anything to complain, but I feel like the load times are so like non-existent. Because first of all, traversing the overworld, no load times,
Yeah.
and even though there's some like slowdown with frame rate, I've heard that there's some issue with the system software occupying the GPU. And that's going to be fixed in future updates.
Yeah.
But I've heard that if you turn your system to airplane mode, the game
Yeah.
will not drop frames.
I've heard about
Yeah,
this.
I've
Which
heard-
I think
I've
is
heard that too.
interesting. What a weird thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what
They,
does your
they should fix that.
what does your
Yeah.
Wi-Fi really have to do? I mean, I guess a little bit, but
It's
still,
some weird.
That's
like, I think it's always actively searching for Wi-Fi.
To clarify, I'm not a software engineer, so
So,
I don't
yeah.
I don't know all the specifics of this, but that's so
I think I read somewhere that the issue is that it's always actively searching for Wi-Fi
yeah.
hotspots and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
so if they disabled that while you're in a game, which I feel like is a pretty practical thing,
Yeah.
like still allowing internet connectivity but not actively searching for Wi-Fi,
Yeah, I mean,
points.
you would think that'd be simple, but who knows,
it just seems like a really weird
Yeah.
issue. But
Exactly.
I'm sure they'll fix it. It's really not it's not really something I consider an issue. But back to Zelda. yeah, the load times are just so like few and far between. Like when you walk into like a shrine, you'll hit a load spot, or if you die, it'll have to load or something like that. But
Most of the cutscenes are skippable too.
Yeah.
yeah,
By the X button
Which
or the
is
plus button.
like something.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice that it's an option. I don't really skip them too often.
no,
No, I
Except for the
skipped
stupid
one.
one where you go down into a shrine and it
Oh,
does the
yeah.
elevator, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
just
skipped
stop,
that.
just let me
I
get into the
skipped
shrine.
the
I skipped
cutscenes
those.
when completing a shrine
Yeah,
Okay.
I do that.
because
Yeah,
those are annoying.
Because they say the
Um,
exact same.
yeah,
Yep.
Spoilers.
repeatedly. Thankfully, you can actually skip that because in previous Zeldas, like the amount of wait time in doing any little thing in like Ocarina of Time or like Wind
Yeah.
Waker, and even Twilight Princess is awful about that too.
Yes.
And I think even Skyward Sword, but like little things like that are kind of frustrating. Like waiting for every time Link collects a rupee in Skyward Sword, and he has to show. Because you haven't collected a 20 rupee in like 20, 30 minutes.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really, really frustrating. So thankfully
Yeah.
that's just not a thing in this game.
Yeah, it's the first time, and then
Yeah.
after that, it's
It'll show like question marks above
Yeah,
it, and then you
yeah.
collect it and you're good. I think that's super cool. I love that the landscapes are super varied, and that because of that, you have to account for, and this is including weather as well. You have to account for like what you're wearing to adjust to temperatures, but also to adjust to weather effects like lightning.
Yeah.
Or if it's too hot, you don't want to equip wooden items because they'll
Yeah.
burn.
Yep.
I think that's super smart. And I don't know if you've seen this, but someone has discovered that if you go up to those octorocks that suck in, or like shoot out like rocks and stuff like that, you can throw rusty weapons at them, and they'll inhale them and then spit them back out at you, and they'll be the soldier equivalent. So they'll be like a soldier broadsword or like a soldier.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah. So you can throw a rusty sword
So it
at one of
cleans it
them,
up.
and they'll
That's
inhale
awesome.
it and spit it back out at you. You know, like a 36
Oh, I'm
power
gonna have to
sword.
try that.
That's
Or I think
that's
24
really cool.
or something
That
like
is
that. Yeah, it's
cool.
insane. It's really awesome. So, I thought that was really interesting. It's really just like little things in the game, and I feel like people who haven't played the game yet have like a fun time ragging on Zelda.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Metacritic.
Dude, have you seen that?
It's
Isn't
so
that
bad.
so weird?
I haven't
It's
played
got a
this game, but it's
97
bad.
It's got a 97 on Metacritic.
Yeah.
And then all of the user review, it's not like a 7.8 or something on Metacritic, because it's a combination of people who legitimately enjoy the game, and then people who are fanboying over like whether it's their PlayStation or Xbox
Yeah, and they get
fanboys,
salty
or
'cause
just or not even that, just anti-Nintendo.
Or they just couldn't get a
Which is
Switch.
fine.
Yeah.
Or that,
Yeah.
that too. I understand if you're anti-Nintendo, but going on to Metacritic and writing a shitty review for a game, I just think is so... Not only is it a waste of your time, but I just think it doesn't help the situation for
Yeah,
people who
no,
are
not at
actually
all.
legitimately looking for honest reviews. So the Horizon Zero Dawn is better than
That's
views
all the time. It's
are,
so bad.
are really funny to me because it's just such a weird comparison.
Seriously.
And yet, I hear that in real life, people comparing Horizon Zero Dawn to Zelda, and I'm like, both open world games, and
Yeah.
that's where they totally part ways.
Yeah.
Because I like both for different reasons, but that's a topic for another time. But yeah, Zelda. I put a little over 40 hours into beating the story. I fell in love with the screen cap. Or the screen capture feature
yeah.
of the Switch,
Yeah.
because it is so much more fluid than the PS4's.
So good.
Yep.
It is so quick. And not only can you do that, but you can screen cap when it has the screen capture little logo in the corner, and it won't pick it up, it'll omit it. So if you want to take like multiple screen caps really quick to get like different frames for something, you can, and it totally works. Because like there's, without spoiling too much, there's like these memories that you have to do, or that are optional that you can do, and they trigger cutscenes. And those cutscenes are like ripe for backgrounds, for like wallpapers for laptops and desktops.
Yeah,
So
those
I
are
was
really
just
cool.
like spamming. Like I think I came out of that game with like 80 captures.
That's insane.
Wow.
Yeah, and I picked like a whole bunch of ones that I liked and set them up as rotating
Some of,
for my
the,
background.
some of the scenery is very beautiful.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
it's
It's
insane.
very beautiful.
You want to talk about immersion right there.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
those cliffscapes where you just look over and you can see everything in the distance.
Especially at the beginning there.
This is such a bad comparison because I'm about to say that it's like Grand Theft Auto 5, where you just get immersed in doing something that you don't realize how much time you put in. Because they're totally different games, but like in Grand Theft Auto 5, when you can just get immersed in like driving around and doing random stuff, it's like you could just run around in Zelda and be like, I'm going to climb up that cliff because I'm trying to find like a new shrine.
Seriously.
And I'm trying to find like something else, like different weapons and stuff like that. And you just go do it. And then you're like, oh, I've spent like an hour and a half doing this, and the story mission is way over there.
Yeah.
So
to be fair, that's not a bad comparison at all, actually. And I never thought about that, but I actually really like that comparison because it's like
it's so. Yeah, it's immersive. It's the definition.
Exactly.
Of immersive, so.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I love it a lot. Zelda is my boy, and yeah.
Well, Zelda's a girl.
Pandas.
Yeah. Well, Zelda the game.
Zelda is
It's a little confusing. They never changed that.
Zelda's a great game, and Zelda's a beautiful man, and at least in my headcanon, she will always be a he. And Link is my boy, and Zelda is so good.
So I'm not gonna try and rehash a whole lot of points that you guys talked about. One thing Kevin talked about was that the art style in the game.
Yeah.
I think the art style was definitely there to compensate for the system's lack of power.
Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't take me out of the game.
Yeah.
I think the art style is beautiful.
I do want to talk about that actually, because I had someone tell me they don't like the art style of Zelda.
Well, they can fuck.
And I told them to. In so many words or less, I was just like, it's not. I was just like, it's not for you, which in my language is go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Because their point was just so like they're like cell shaded graphics belong in comic books, and I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But okay, but I feel like. So the game is very obviously a Wii U port.
Mm-hmm.
It's an up-resed port of a Wii U game, and so I think that it doesn't necessarily compensate for the lack of power on the Switch, but it compensates for the lack of power on the Wii U.
Yeah.
Because the Wii U is an even worse scenario. Like, God, that thing has like 2 gigabytes of RAM or something like that.
Yeah.
It's something like that, which is just like absurd. And then it's even more absurd to think that thing has like 2 gigabytes of RAM and it has games like Super Mario 3D World that are just like absolutely gorgeous because they're stylized. But I would agree that the Switch is kind of lacking in power, so we are probably going to see more like stylized games for the system. That's why you're going to see more like not necessarily like anime stylized, but like cel shaded and stuff like that. And because I think it really which actually I want to point out, it's totally fine, because stylized games sometimes look a lot better than realistic looking games.
Yeah.
I'm playing Nier Automata right now, which is a more realistic styled game. And I feel like some things look fantastic in that game, and some things look like they should have gone for more of like a stylized aspect, like a cel shaded, not necessarily cel shaded, but like a thick outline or something like that. Like I feel like that kind of works with some games, so I feel like that's fine, and I look forward to seeing what Nintendo and other companies do with their art styles in their games going forward on the Switch.
The only thing that I have to say different to you is that, it is a Wii U port, but I think that the fact that, and perhaps all the frame rate issues are related to what we were talking about earlier with the, the Wi-Fi or whatever was happening. But I think that, if we're seeing frame rate issues right now, that may be part of a power thing. And
I'm interested to see what happens in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
I had a comparison for this for someone, because I actually saw somewhere that it can get a little more framey in the Switch version than the Wii U version. And my theory is because that's just lazy porting.
Yeah.
But I was quick to point out that Watch Dogs 1 was a port of a last-gen game onto a current-gen console. That was also 900p on the most powerful console at the time, and that it also had frame rate issues and like kind of lazy like graphics throughout. And then Watch Dogs 2, they just blew that out of the water. So when we see actual like AAA Switch games, I think that's going to be a better gauge for what the console will be going forth. But I think, we'll get into this more later, but like
We'll see when we play the Splatoon
I
if
think-
it does.
dude,
Yeah.
if the Splatoon test fire is anything short of perfect, that's the first trip.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
that game is
This Friday.
slated for the test fire starts next Friday.
Yeah.
And the game is slated for sometime in the summer. I'm assuming late
Yeah.
summer. So we'll find out. I think not Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but ARMS. Will be the first
Oh,
actual
yeah, yeah.
like Nintendo Switch title that's not a port.
Yeah.
Where we'll see like how the system software like, and then the system hardware, either benefits or holds back.
Wasn't
The
1-2
game.
Switch?
One two Switch is
Yeah,
a
but that's
glorified
not-
tech demo.
yeah.
It plays videos and then you don't stare at the screen. There's
Exactly.
not a lot going on there.
Exactly.
I feel like that can kind of be omitted just because it's not like
Yeah.
it's not like a graphically impressive game. It's not like a.
No, you're not even supposed to
stare
look at the screen. Yeah. You're
for a
supposed
lot
to
of
look
it. Yeah. So
I'm
we'll
gonna-
see. We'll see.
Okay, I'm gonna finish up a couple more things on Zelda. And
Yeah,
we can move
then we'll
on.
keep moving on, yeah.
Yeah. So, outside of the art style, I think that the gameplay is also really cool. I think the ruin system is really unique. It kind of takes
Yeah.
your traditional items like a hook shot and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and puts them into like this unique, different style. You can pull up anyone you want whenever you want, kind of similar to an item. And
Yeah.
it lets you interact with objects in game. And there are like six if you exclude the amiibo one.
There's an amiibo one.
Yeah,
I
if you
didn't
have to
even
turn
know
on
that.
amiibos and
I
then you
didn't
get it.
even know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's interesting.
I think
that-
6, something like that.
That, and I'm thinking of 5 right now.
Well, it's something
There's
like that.
5 or 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, 6. Yeah, there's definitely 6.
Yeah. So, and then there's a 7th if you have the amiibo turned on,
Yeah,
but
so
that's
7 if
that's
you
not
have the
important.
amiibo compatible. That's
Uh,
interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's
That makes a lot of sense,
Yeah.
actually, because that would make sense for like how you just scan them in and it just
Yeah.
drops like the chest and stuff. So,
Yep.
cool.
But yeah, I think that's a really cool system that lets you interact with the shrines, which are kind of like mini dungeons in this game.
Yeah.
They're not quite on par
Yeah.
with like the older dungeons in like in the original Legend of Zelda on the NES. They're much smaller than that, and they don't typically have boss. I mean, they could have a boss or something like that, but it's not really.
Yeah.
It's nothing big. And then there's the major dungeons, which I won't spoil anything. They are really cool, and I think each one is a little bit different than the others.
Yeah.
And it's unique, and it adds cool things afterwards. It's a very cool change of pace from the traditional, like, oh, water temple.
Yeah.
Oh, fire temple.
That's the thing, yeah. So I want to hop on that really quick. They've kind of modernized the dungeon aspect of the game. The shrines, like you said, they're kind of like mini dungeons. And without spoiling the main dungeons, they all have like the same core task, but it feels totally different doing each one.
Each one's unique, yeah.
Yeah. So I
And
think
they're-
that some people might be kind of disappointed not to see like the Twilight Princess or like even the Ocarina of Time aspect of dungeons.
Yeah.
But I think that the way that Breath of the Wild does it is beneficial to the modernization of the franchise as a whole.
And who knows what we'll see in the
flows
future,
really
too.
well.
Yeah, that's true, too.
We're getting an expansion pass.
I
This
can't
first
believe
Zelda
it.
with DLC.
I don't like it.
Oh, no,
Which
you don't like it?
Feels weird.
It does
look,
feel
I'm-
weird.
I'm fine
It-
because more Zelda, but I feel sad that it isn't just in the game.
How about that price
It
tag,
had better
though?
be insane. $20.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Totally
Yeah,
fine.
I like that price too.
Where one like expansion pass is typically $20, you get 2 story passes. or
That's
2
nickel
story
and that's
passes.
nickel and diming at its finest. They
Yeah.
could have been so scummy with it,
Yeah, dude.
but
Well, look at what they did. I mean, they've already done this with Mario Kart. So we've seen this in the past where it was like $16.99 for both of the packs, or you could buy each pack for like $9.99 or something
Yeah.
like that. I can't remember.
similar with
if that's
Smash
for
as
sure.
well.
Yeah, so you could buy all of the DLC at a given time for like $23.
Yeah.
Or you could buy just the one for Wii U for $6.99,
3DS,
or
yeah.
just the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So every single time I bought that stuff for that, I would do like the Wii U and 3DS and just the characters and never any of the costume stuff.
Yeah.
But I digress. So we've kind of seen Nintendo do expansion passes, but it's weird to see them do one on like what would be considered like a AAA adventure game like Skyrim-esque. So I look forward to seeing how they do that in the future. I hope they don't jump on that too hard.
Yeah, I don't want to get nickel and dime
Yeah.
like on other consoles per se.
I'm
you know?
interested to see what they do with like Splatoon and ARMS and stuff like that, like games that are going to be more competitive.
Supply drops.
Oh my god, dude. No.
Supply
If I have to pay... Now, here's the thing. We've also seen what they've done on iOS with like Fire Emblem Heroes, which I've got to be honest, their rates for that are insane.
Yeah.
They're crazy, and I've got to pull this up really quick because it's just like they've got to work on this because this is a Nintendo thing. The expansion pass for Zelda, perfect. The cost of orbs for Fire Emblem Heroes, just absurd. So they've got to find a happy middle.
Yeah. While you're bringing up the cost of orbs,
Did my phone just die? I think my phone just died at like 35%.
I haven't played a whole lot of Fire Emblem Heroes. I'm not super into it, but I have found that, I play another game on mobile called Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key,
Yeah.
and that is another one that is literally designed to nickel and dime you.
I played that game for probably about an hour, or however long it takes you to get through the tutorial for that game, and I saw some of that, and I was like, I'm good.
I'm 330 days straight into it, so...
Jesus. Oh,
Wow.
my phone
Yeah.
just blinded me.
So-
Just turn back.
But yeah,
on.
I found that the rates for mobile games are absurd, and that's
Yeah.
because that's such it's such an impulse buy. It's like, oh, I want this.
It's like
Buy
Overwatch,
it.
though. Because
Yeah.
I feel like Overwatch...
Yes.
Overwatch, I spent so much money on loot boxes because every time there's an event, I'm just like,
Yeah.
I know I want
Yeah.
like this specific skin, and I'm not going to deal with this bullshit. And I know that I'm going to like all the
Yeah.
other stuff I get. So I'll just buy like the 50 for 40.
So
Like,
basically,
done.
what we're saying is that all these supply
Yeah.
drop things or random chance things or really expensive things suck, and we like the way the expansion pass is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Nintendo, stick with that and don't nickel and dime people. But I do want to talk about things that you can buy digitally through Nintendo, and I do want to talk about Snipper Clips, which is a title on the eShop that we have all played,
Yep.
and that I feel like kind of stands out from the rest right now. So I just kind of wanted to talk like really quick what your guys' impressions are with it. Have you guys finished all the 2-player levels yet?
We
No.
finished one.
Okay.
We
you-
finished the first world,
The first world.
the first
okay.
world.
and then
Yeah,
my
yeah.
girlfriend and I finished 3 more worlds.
Dang.
Yeah, so I
So
So there's more than 4 worlds.
I want
Because
to.
I've only gotten to the second.
There's at least 3, and after we're like halfway through the third one, so we'll probably find out soon if there's more. I don't know
Yeah.
for sure, but there seems to be a lot of content.
Yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
good.
Yeah. So the 2-player is really good. It's not too insane, when you only have 2 players in that game, it doesn't devolve to like people running around and trying to cut each other up like incessantly. Because I've played 4-player on it, and it is insane. It is like borderline unmanageable, and I don't mean
Really?
that in a bad way, but to the point where you really have to be like, everyone listen. We need to
Stop
do
messing
this.
around.
Yeah.
Stop, like,
Gotcha.
this is what we need to do. It's that Portal aspect,
Yeah.
like Portal 2, where you just, like, mess with people and, like, shoot a portal underneath them and shoot one of the ceiling, so they're
They
stuck
fall.
in a loop, and they're pissed off, and they're like, we just need to finish this, okay? And, so I think the 2-player is a healthy balance, and the levels are really fun, and they kind of, like, alternate what you need to
Yeah.
do between, like,
Yeah.
like, several different styles, like, so 2-player specifically, there's the ones where you can, like, control these little owls that rotate
Yep.
to like
Yeah.
get an
That
egg
one.
from point A to B.
Yep. we
That one
had
is
a-
pretty frustrating.
That
I've
one was
killed many of
awesome.
my
That one
owl
was pretty
children.
fun when we did that.
So much fun though.
I like it. But
It's
there's so many little
challenging.
things
It's
you can do, like
challenging.
accidentally
Satisfying.
crush the egg, or like accidentally like have too sharp of an end on
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
Yep.
character.
That's happened a
and-
few
oh
times.
god, yeah, a couple
It's
times.
so satisfying when you complete those levels though. It's like a
I think
rush.
I think the most satisfying on Snipper Clips are the levels that are where you have to cut each other into specific shapes. So
Yeah.
you fill like
Yeah.
a specific outline, and it turns into something at the end.
Yeah.
So there's one like right off the bat where you have to like kind of rotate and not even cut each other and just like form the shape of a heart, and
Yeah.
it shows that. And then there's one that's where you're like a bird or something like
Bird.
that. That one's
bird.
good. Yeah.
yeah.
So I've really enjoyed Snipper Clips so far. I've only completed one world though, so I guess we'll find out how I enjoy it going further in. But
It gets so much more challenging.
does it?
Does
It does. It does. There's and I think it gets even more satisfying at the same time. Like the levels can get frustrating. When we first started playing, we could run through the entire first world, maybe the second world too, without getting, frustrated or like bogged down or tired of
Yeah.
like doing it. As you get further, they start to get more and more like
challenging.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I like that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I like that there's a progression system and like a skill level to it, you know. And I've played the first world probably 4 times now because I played it with a bunch of different people,
Yeah.
and that's where you got to start. You
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. Yeah.
But I think that as time goes on, for instance, something that comes to mind immediately during the second world, and I think Kevin and I actually experienced this as well, is the gear levels. So there's like these weird cog things that control rotation of
yeah.
something else in the future, and it was hard for us, and we had to work together really hard to figure it out.
Yep.
Well, pro tip, so you guys don't get too frustrated, if you cut one of the people or one of the playable characters into a gear shape and then spin in a circle next to it,
What?
it moves it super well. It
That's
works
insane.
super well.
I had no idea.
So it's like super satisfying to
Wow.
like come up with those strategies and like, wow, that really worked. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Or like,
I
this
love
isn't
that.
working. We need to
I
work
had
together
no
to get
idea that
something
was a
else.
thing.
Yeah. So that's
That's super
that's so much fun.
I encountered those gear levels, but in 4-player.
Yeah.
And they are insane. They
It's hard,
apparently
yeah.
get really difficult.
Mhm.
There's way more variety to the 2-player.
And every
than
world
there's the 4-player.
Yeah. Every world has
Way
different
more worlds.
boss quote.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing air quotes.
Like levels.
Yeah, boss levels or whatever. And they're all
Yeah.
like the first world was the chicken one where you had to get the eggs to the
Yeah.
Yep.
The second
Yeah.
one, I don't want to spoil too much, but I'll talk about the second one because you guys will probably beat it. It's like you getting princesses
Oh,
to
okay, cool.
collect like stars or objectives or
Oh,
hearts or
interesting.
whatever.
Yeah.
And you have to like cut the level to get them to go to that
Oh,
part.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
which
Can't wait.
is so
Okay.
it's all different and unique, And I don't want to talk
Yeah.
about the third because I don't want to spoil anything beyond that, and I don't know how many there are, so we'll find out. But
Yeah.
they're all unique and interesting. That's really cool. That's a neat aspect to the game, and I'd love to see like I'm looking forward to seeing more of it going forward.
Yeah.
And I for $20, this game seriously cannot be beat for
it's
2 players.
awesome for $20. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I had no idea there were so many worlds to the game. I figured because I started progressing through the first world's levels before I knew there was a second world of them, and I was like, oh no, what if I complete all these levels and this is it for the game?
Yeah, no.
And that's how it is for the 4-player because it gives you like
Oh,
I think
okay.
16 levels total for 4-player,
Interesting.
and once you complete them, you're done. Now there's like competitive ones. I did the co-op 4-player.
Yeah.
So I would imagine there's probably something different to that.
Yeah, probably.
But that's really good to know that there's more to it. So Snipper Clips, $20. If you have a Switch and you for some reason haven't checked it out, yeah, it's a must buy.
And you don't have to
it.
buy another controller.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
don't.
no,
you
yeah.
just-
For
give
2-player,
the
you
other
just pop
Joy-Con
out,
too.
use a Joy-Con. It's
So good.
brilliant,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah,
so
yeah.
good. It plays well on tabletop mode too.
I can't even imagine playing that thing with a Pro Controller. That'd be so weird. I mean,
I've
I
never tried
guess,
yet.
but I don't know. So we've got like a list of things we want to talk about, but honestly, I kind of want to just we'll cut out a couple. But let's talk about the party chat on the system and how there isn't a party chat on the system. And this will kind of get us into something a little bit bigger. But speaking specifically about like the upcoming party chat app, I'm really confused as to why it's not just integrated into the system.
Yeah.
I am assuming it's because they don't want to consume
Bog down the system
bog down the
with it,
system.
yeah.
Like, God forbid they have like an online multiplayer game, and then you're also running a chat app in the background.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
tandem. But I think that's kind of a mess. They're kind of getting into murky waters there. And I said this when we were talking about this over text, and this is what kind of spurred this whole conversation tonight, is that if you have an app on a phone for chatting with people, wouldn't you just call that the phone app and then not use the Nintendo app? Because you can just do group calls on your phone.
Exactly.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Skype already beat them to it. There's a Skype app. Discord already beat them to it. There's a Discord app. So I'm just wondering, like, why they feel the need to make this first-party app. And my only theory is that it has something to do with how they will monitor like feedback for like instances where like you report a player,
Yeah.
and then for like parental concerns, like parental controls, like there's probably some certain parental controls for that, like only talking to friends and stuff like that, and not having to like give out your phone number to strangers
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just feel like Skype and Discord are already there, so why does Nintendo need one? And so I'm just kind of interested to hear your guys' perspectives on this.
If we look at it now, there's no way to invite your friends to play a game with you.
No, none.
No.
And so
Or even send a message.
exactly,
Yep.
exactly, which I think is like is that really going to take that much? I mean, again, not a software engineer.
We're talking Nintendo that had no integrated message system on the 3DS, and
Yeah.
they used an app called SwapNote.
Yes.
And so people kept sending each other pictures of penises, and I believe they deleted SwapNote. And so, yeah, so no integrated messaging system.
Yeah.
But I'll let you continue.
So I think that's like a major feature that they're leaving out. You know, if I want to play Splatoon with you guys, like all of a sudden, I mean,
Yeah.
I can't do it. Well, I mean, the app's supposed to come out around that time.
Yeah.
But if I want to play Splatoon with you guys, if it was out now, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah,
Or if I
you
want to
wouldn't
play
be able
Fast
to
RMX with you guys right now, I can't because there's no way to invite each other. And so I think that's going to be rolled into the app as well. It's not
Has
just
to be.
chat.
Yeah, like
Or they're
like
gonna
game parties.
And who knows?
Interesting.
Maybe when that app comes out, they're gonna update the system UI to include, hey, you can invite your friend without having to pull out your smartphone
It's
and tap
gotta
it.
because I'm wondering how they would integrate that into an app, and then it would like just automatically like send that functionality to
Yeah.
the system itself.
Well, and then if
That
we
seems very bad. The whole not having the chat app through the system is really backwards.
Yeah.
But not being able to organize like parties, like add a friend to a party or something like that for a game. Like, God forbid, Jeff Kaplan was talking about like Overwatch and possibly coming to
Oh,
the
God.
Switch. And which, to be fair, that thing can run on like a toaster, so they can bring
That's
Overwatch
true,
to
yeah.
the Switch.
Yeah.
That's no
Yes.
problem, even with 4 gigabytes of RAM. But the thing is, like having parties and stuff like that in Overwatch, like being able to like invite a friend to a party in Overwatch on the Switch, if that was a thing,
Yeah.
how would they even do that?
Yeah.
How would you even do that? So I think that's going to be... I feel like Nintendo's trying to put that on the part of developers, on third-party developers to integrate their own like groups and parties. So like inviting people, because you can see like another person online playing the same game. Maybe they'll have some sort of like party up system in each game and leave it up to third-party developers. But I feel like that's a huge mistake.
that's a big burden on them as well.
Huge
you know?
mistake, yeah. To go to a developer and be like, we don't have our own integrated party system, so you need to create your own for a game.
Yeah.
You're just not going to see that.
No.
It won't happen.
I think that if we look at the hardware on the Switch right now, it does have a microphone and headphone combo jack. So
Yeah.
so that would lead me to think like, hey, maybe it's coming. You know, maybe it's just not ready yet.
It's
But
gotta...
still, the fact that they're like, hey, there's an app, by the way. Maybe all the app is gonna be for is so like when you're not near your Switch, you can send your friend a message.
The system
See-
doesn't have Bluetooth, does it?
Not that
No, not that.
Oh,
No.
God.
Yeah, so that's kind of a big thing. But who knows?
So no wireless headsets.
Is
then
there a
for the
possibility
Switch.
of plugging a Bluetooth dongle through your headphone jack?
I was thinking through USB-C.
That might work too.
Yeah,
who
that could
knows?
work.
I don't know. That
Get-
sounds like a
get
disaster.
Some iPhone, get some
forbid,
iPhone
yeah.
dongle business
So you'd
going
be
on.
able, to put a Bluetooth adapter in, but not set the system up in tabletop mode.
Yeah.
Unless you have it on this weird angle viewing.
Yeah.
So I think that gets into what we want to talk about more, which is issues we kind of see with the system, and we've kind of started on that with like the kickstand. But like that doubling as the micro SD card slot is a huge issue. And on the topic of micro SD cards, I want to talk about how there's no way to back up saves right now into micro SD cards and then transfer that from system to system.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
I want to take my save to Kevin's Switch, I just can't.
Yeah.
Unless I pop the cartridge in, I guess. I don't know. I think that's really weird. Because
see,
what if he has a bunch of digital titles and I just want to
Yeah.
pop like
Yeah.
a micro SD in and be
It's-
like, cool, boot up.
It almost feels reminiscent of how they did it with the 3DS,
Yeah.
which is so frustrating. And, you know, they've said, you know, we're going to link everything to your Nintendo account. So if you get like a different Switch
Yeah.
or something, they've talked about that, which is great, which means I don't have to do that stupid backups thing and sit in
Yeah.
GameStop for 3 hours while it
And
does
transfer.
that and
Oh,
transfer
that's a
over.
disaster.
And then your manager comes in and says, no, you're not supposed to be doing that. You're supposed to buy it and then bring the other one back. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, whatever.
But
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big deal. You know, being able to like pop a hard drive or a flash drive into, you know, my Xbox, put a save file on it,
Yeah.
bring it over to a friend's house and be like, hey, look at this.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so great. And I think that's like just consumer friendly right there. So
it's got to be something that's integrated in an update. I just can't imagine that not being on the system for
Yeah.
the entirety of its lifespan.
True.
There's no way.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they could
That's
do
like
that.
Yeah.
Sony just recently adding an update 4.5, the ability to use external drives, which honestly
Took way too long.
way too
Yeah.
long. Way too long. It's baffling.
I had an external hard drive on my
Making an
Xbox
aside here,
years before
it
you.
is
Yes.
baffling.
So did I.
Yeah.
Being able to switch the internal hard drive on a PS4 is nice, but
Yeah.
right now on the market, the max is like 2 terabytes for the exact like size like laptop hard drive you have to have. So you can't really get bigger than a 2 terabyte hard drive.
Yeah.
Having the ability to use an external hard drive is like so necessary, and I feel like it's a mistake not integrating that for as long as they did. So we'll see. But Kevin, are you okay?
I dropped my head. Couldn't find it.
I was like, what are you struggling over?
Yeah, it went all the way up.
So
to the
Sony really
front
screwed that up,
Yeah.
and they better work on that. And I love my PlayStation, but I
Sony?
just can't believe.
Yeah,
thought we were talking about the
yeah,
Switch.
the Switch is
I just
better.
can't believe that. So back to the Switch.
Left Joy-Con
The
issue.
Switch is not better.
Left Joy. Oh,
In that regard,
outta here.
the Switch as a console has a lot of potential.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's a lot of things that they need to
Yeah.
kind of like catch up to
Yeah.
current gen
They'll get
consoles
there.
on,
They'll get there.
excluding
I
hardware.
mean, it's a new console.
But
Left
yeah,
Joy-Con.
the left Joy-Con issue that I've been hearing about. I have not personally had the issue with the left Joy-Con.
Neither have I.
You want to know what's actually surprising?
Yeah.
Is Kevin and I were playing Fast RMX.
Yeah.
And I was using your Joy-Cons and you were using the Pro Controller.
Mm-hmm.
And I could have sworn there was one point in time where, the steering in that's a little bit loose anyway.
Yeah,
So I
it's
crash into
very-
walls all the
yeah.
time anyways.
I was doing the same thing.
But I had crashed into a wall and I was tilting to steer away from it and it wouldn't do it. I'm telling you, it had.
Well, I think Fast RMX also has the motion. So if you were tilting the controller,
the motion was off.
the motion was off.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was off.
That's
I'm telling
really
you.
weird.
Interesting.
And I don't think it's like. I haven't had any issue with my Joy-Cons at all. And ironically, the only issue that I ever had was playing Fast RMX with Kevin's Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
And so I think I've experienced it one time, but your Joy-Cons don't have any other issues, right?
No.
So
So
it's,
I
I think it's
not
like a
experienced it at
spur
all.
of the moment, you know?
So on my Switch, I've done 6-player Bomberman with 5 Joy-Cons
Oh my
and a
God.
Pro
Oh,
controller.
gosh.
And let me tell you, not once did I see a Joy-Con desync, which I think is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are saying that the issue is with something being in between the Joy-Con and the system itself, like obstructing the signal.
We also
Yeah.
tested that the first night.
Yeah.
Like you would
And-
like stand away from it. with
And
your
I
hand in
heard
it.
that this is something they fixed in an update.
That's what they said.
That's what
but
they
people
said.
are still having
but,
issues. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm interested to see, like, what features they add in updates. Like, they can't just like tiptoe around like these
No,
pretty
not at all.
solid issues with the
Yeah.
system.
And actually, about the left Joy-Con, there's a small YouTuber named Spawnwave who actually
Shut up,
he's-
small wife.
He's a tech guy who he took apart his Switch and like everything on like
Oh,
the
I
first
saw
or
about that.
second
Yeah,
day.
yeah, for a
And
hardware
so-
breakdown.
Exactly. And so
Yeah.
on the inside, he sees that the left Joy-Con has an antenna that is integrated into the board. The right Joy-Con has its own like dedicated antenna as opposed to being like a part of the board, the
Yeah.
board inside of it. So that may be part of the issue why the left Joy-Con is a little bit weaker than the right one.
That's
Interesting.
bad.
Yeah, that is.
mean,
I
that's
don't
a
know why
hardware
they.
issue.
I don't know
Yeah.
why would you make two? I get like okay, it's two separate things. Okay, you had some space on the board or something, but like still, you would think.
That's
Yeah.
like that's rough. That's like on the level of people who had the weak wrist straps for the Wii's.
Yeah.
The Wii remotes the
Yeah.
week of, and they just tore, and people threw their Wii remotes on the walls. And that happened to me. I swear to God, when I was playing Wii tennis, the first week my friend got a Wii, and I just threw the freaking controller into his wall. And thankfully, it didn't break the controller
My
or
cousin
the wall.
was really
Scared
intoxicated.
his dog.
my cousin was really intoxicated and threw a Wii remote at an old CRT TV,
Oh my God.
and it just bounced off. It bounced off the TV, hit the ceiling, and
Lucky.
came back down. No big deal. See,
Wow.
so you know what? All those people that complain.
I saw the videos of people who had
Oh, yeah.
accidentally thrown them, and they just like hit like an LCD screen and just shattered
Yeah,
it.
there's just
Yeah.
nothing you can
Oh
do.
my God.
Can you imagine? Oh.
Also, they were playing Wii's on flat screen TVs, which had burn-in.
Yep.
So
Yeah, you had
That's
to be
even
careful. You had to
worse.
be care- you had to be
Real-
careful with the logo, with the constant logos on those.
that was the real
Like
issue
your
that they
TV.
Yeah. Well, look,
Did
I've
that happen?
no, I've not had it happen, but
Oh my God.
but I do know someone who did have it happen to him, and
Oh
it's just
my
it's an
God.
EA Sports.
Oh,
So every time it goes to a black screen, there's the EA Sports logo.
Oh, that's
Oh
so
my
funny.
God,
Yeah.
that's awful. I mean, I've seen them on like burnt in on screens for arcade cabinets,
Yeah.
like original
Yeah.
Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awful. I can't imagine. But yeah, so hardware issues aside, let's get into something a little bit more positive about the Switch, and that's the upcoming titles for it. What do you guys think of overall? Before we get into like the breakdown of the upcoming titles, what do you guys think of like 2017 for the Switch for games?
I say it's positive. I think it has room to grow. I think they could have come out with a little bit more games, but the games that they're coming out with, I mean, I've all enjoyed Skyrim, NBA, FIFA, Mario Kart. Those are all scheduled down the line later this year. I've played all those games and I like them all.
Yeah.
On the Wii, whether it's on Xbox or
I'm interested to see on FIFA and NBA the adoption rate of those titles
That'll be so interesting.
it would
Because-
be interesting.
because it could be on par with current gen consoles, which would be awesome. Or it could be on par with the Wii U.
Which
where-
is abysmal.
They had
Yeah.
Madden 13, and that was it. So that's the thing. And also, no Madden this year, at least confirmed yet for the Switch. But I would imagine
Well,
that's
because
something that we
what they
see
did with-
at E3.
What they do with Madden in the later, I don't think, like with Madden 13 coming to the Wii and then the Wii U. What they did on the Wii is they turned Madden into a more cartoon game. So all the players were cartoons. With previous Madden games like Madden 08, it actually had the realistic
Yeah,
feel to it.
yeah.
So I don't know why they went to the cartoons later on the Wii and the Wii U.
I think it was made by another developer. I think
Probably.
It wasn't ported. I think
Yeah.
it was straight up
Okay.
built from scratch
Yeah.
by another developer. But yeah, I hope that both do well. I think that they will, because I think you have a lot of interest from people who haven't gamed on a Nintendo system in a while
Yeah.
Yep.
to pick up a Switch. And a lot of those people fit into this I have this Venn diagram in my head, and I see like the portion of people that would be Switch adopters and FIFA fans. Now, the size of that, like,
They don't lay
overlap.
over very well, yeah.
At least going based off of like previous like Nintendo consoles and like the kind of gamers
I think-
that play on them, it's
With sports games, I think
Hopefully it's bigger.
people want the more realistic feeling.
Yeah.
So with Madden, it's cartoons. They didn't have the realistic to it. But I think hopefully with FIFA NBA, they can have a little more realistic.
I believe it's been confirmed that the FIFA and the NBA titles that are coming to the Switch are actually like FIFA 18 and NBA
that is-
2K18.
Yep, that's confirmed. So they're gonna be new games.
They're gonna be now. FIFA is custom built for the Switch, so that's
Yeah.
the interesting part. I'll be interested to see how well that holds up compared to like the PS4, Xbox One versions. The graphic fidelity will not be the same,
Yeah.
No,
but
yeah, I have
if
a
the
feeling it won't
gameplay
be.
holds up, people are gonna clamor for the ability to take FIFA on the go with them. Like
Yeah.
FIFA players, if they could like pick up the game and like ride in a car all day and play
Yeah,
FIFA,
exactly.
like, hell yeah.
Seriously.
Same with NBA. NBA 2K. It's been a very popular game.
So I'll be really interested to see what the adoption rate is for that.
I either see it going one of two ways. Either it's going to sell really well because people are going to be playing it wherever, enjoying it, or I don't. It could do poorly.
Or it sells like in the like thousands.
Yeah, but then we see.
Yeah.
I mean, if we look back in Nintendo's history, we look at games like Double Dribble, on
Yeah.
the NES. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about? That's like a classic. Everybody played that game
I'm
back in
thinking
the day.
of Jordan versus Bird. Is
Yeah.
that the game? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Oh my god.
So who knows? Maybe this will be a new sports games were not successful on the Wii U, but maybe the Switch with the
not at all.
mobility and with better graphics on like a portable console. I think we'll see how things go in the coming months. Whenever they decide to come out with those, are there official release dates for those games?
Usually NBA comes
fall.
out. Yeah.
Fall? Okay.
Usually around
Yeah.
when when the season actually starts.
NBA's end of September is when they
Yeah.
drop the game.
So that's when that's when
I
the
think they're
preseason will
aiming
come
for
out.
day and date for Switch,
Probably.
so same day for Switch as everything else.
Okay.
Now let's get more into specific titles that are coming out through the year. And so between like first party lineup and third party lineup, I kind of want to go through. We found a breakdown on Games Radar, and if my phone hadn't died, I'd have the list on my phone. But thankfully, Chris has a laptop in front of him, and my phone keeps turning on and then dying. So hopefully I can get the list in front of me as well.
So,
But if we're looking at a list, the first title that is dropping from either a first or third party developer is Binding of Isaac,
yes.
which comes out on March 17th. So
this Friday.
Yep.
Yeah,
Friday.
it's a good choice. Yeah, it's a good game.
This is going to be the first physical release of the game ever,
Yeah.
correct?
Interesting.
This is the Afterbirth Plus one that comes with all the DLC and stuff.
I think that I can't remember for sure, but I think that they did a limited. My phone is just super dead. I think they did a limited physical release for the PC version.
Really?
Yeah.
I had never heard of that.
I
That's
think,
awesome, though.
I think Game Trust put it out. Like it's one of those metallic cases that you can find for like Nuclear Throne and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
can't remember that for sure, but
Well, either way, this
correct
is
me if I'm wrong.
this will be the first major
Yeah. The
widespread
first actual,
release for
release of it, yeah.
and for like a home console as well,
Yeah.
not even for like PC.
It's super interesting. That game has a really dedicated fan base.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it reminds me a lot of the game Spelunky.
Yeah,
That
I
people
love that game.
there's people who are just absurdly dedicated to Spelunky that do like the weekly like
Game is
challenges
so
or whatever.
good.
And, yeah. I wonder
It's
if that'll make its way to Switch. I bet you it
Oh.
does. I bet you anything
that'd be
that
awesome.
Spelunky ends up
That'd
on
be
the
awesome.
Switch.
It's on every other home console.
Look at
so-
like World of
Yeah.
Goo and Little Inferno are coming to the
Yeah.
Switch. And a game that was a free-to-play title on phones came to Switch and is the first handheld mode only game on Switch. I would be shocked if Spelunky wasn't on Switch.
and that's the music one, right? I can't quite remember the name of it.
God, yeah, it's gonna drive me crazy.
Yeah, well-
but Avox or something like that.
Something like
or-
that.
So you've got Binding of Isaac Afterbirth, March 17th. And then you have sprinkled throughout a bunch of like eShop and indie titles. Already we've seen Blaster Master Zero and several Neo Geo classics.
Yes.
And we'll only see more from there, including some of the ones I've already mentioned, like World of Goo, Little Inferno. I think 1001 Spikes is being brought to Switch. I think that's probably one of the ones we'll see soon. Shovel Knight has already made its way to Switch as a launch title.
Yep.
So, and then Fast Racing,
RMX.
RMX,
RMX,
and Red Out and stuff like that we're going to see. The next big Nintendo game coming out is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and that's April 28th. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Mario Kart 8 is probably my favorite Mario Kart game to date, and that's beating out Mario Kart 64, which holds a place in my heart, and even Mario Kart Double Dash.
Oh wow.
But Mario Kart 8 was awesome on the Wii U. Hopefully it runs a little bit better than the Wii U version. Like in multiplayer, like
Yeah.
free player kind of drops.
Well-
You just pointed out, I almost forgot Puyo Puyo Tetris, which is April 25th.
Yeah.
By published by Sega.
Yes.
Yeah, Sega.
Yep, Sega.
So that's gonna be interesting. Hopefully, I can get a free code for that. Fingers crossed. Sega, please.
Where's my finger?
Sega,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah,
Sega,
it was-
please. But yeah, go ahead. Were you gonna say something?
Oh
Kevin?
yeah, I was just gonna talk a little bit
Chris?
about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah.
The addition of the battle mode.
Yeah. They
Why
cha-
was
they
that
changed the battle
not?
mode? Yeah.
They changed it. Was there,
There
a battle
was
mode?
a battle mode, but
Okay.
it was like I think it was like the Wii version.
Okay.
It was weird. It was like
It wasn't Mario Kart 64.
No,
Cool battle
no.
mode. Yeah.
It wasn't like an arena battle mode.
Yeah.
I saw some gameplay of the new battle mode. It looks good. It looks like a huge improvement over the Wii U version. I think that they're still missing something
Yeah.
there. It looks
Yeah.
like too big of arenas. Like part of the like fun of Mario Kart 64 is like the one where you have like the four pillars with like the interconnecting bridges and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's my favorite one. But they're not too big.
Yeah, they're pretty
Yeah.
cool. They are.
That map is probably the biggest
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
can think of in that game. So hopefully it's not too big of maps. We'll see.
Yeah.
In the old Mario Karts, there was almost always somebody in your line of sight. In
Yeah.
the I would assume I haven't played Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U.
We'll see
Either
how
way.
other people pick it up. Because I think it's up to 8 players on the
Which
Okay.
on the battle
can
mode.
you imagine splitting controllers and having 4
Ugh.
switches? You know how awesome that'll be.
Be awesome.
That'll be so awesome.
Well, now you
wait.
can do maybe even 2 switches because it is a 4-player
Yeah.
split screen.
Yeah.
So
Well, but I don't know if that'll be so small and handheld.
That
We'll
would-
see.
that
We'll
would-
see.
that would-
when
that
we
would
get
be
it.
very
Disaster,
small,
But if it's all on
but-
TV, then
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
yeah.
cool.
Exactly.
I mean, I've already got my pre-order for it. I got it the other day, so
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked for Mario Kart 8
Yeah.
Deluxe.
Sonic Mania coming out.
Sonic
some point.
Mania comes out sometime in spring,
Mm-hmm.
and then also Red Out sometime in spring.
I've pre-ordered that game as well.
But also in spring is ARMS. The rumor going around right now is May 2nd. There's no way that game drops May 2nd.
You don't think so?
I don't, because it's too close to Mario Kart.
Yeah,
It's true.
that
That
would
is really
take
close.
so
'cause
much.
it's like
It
it's
does
like the next
fit
next
into
week.
Nintendo's like having a game every month thing,
Yeah.
like a big game every month, but that's way too soon. If they do that May 2nd, that's a mistake. I think that they should wait till at least mid-May. Like,
Mid-May. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
because they release on Fridays, so like around like May 15th or whatever the closest Friday is. Yeah. To not be too late or too early. But I wouldn't be shocked. And then over the summer, there's supposed to be more indie stuff. I think Stardew Valley, which is like a huge hit on every
Yeah.
other console known to man right
It's
now.
got like a niche player base too. That a lot of people.
Yeah, it's crazy. I can't believe how many people are playing that game, but good for it. Like,
Yeah,
good for them, man.
seriously.
They figured it out. Like, Harvest Moon hasn't exactly lived up to the expectation.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see. They're adding multiplayer to the Switch. It's first on Switch,
Oh.
Yeah.
so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And then also Splatoon 2.
Yep.
We already mentioned the Global Test Fire, which you should play if you have a Switch. But Splatoon 2 kicks off in summer sometime. A rumor going around that one's going to be in September. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Maybe-
July.
Maybe like late July.
Give me
Maybe
mid
mid
to late
July.
July.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mid to late July would be perfect for the game.
Any later than August is a mistake
Yeah.
on that game.
We also have games like Mr. Shifty.
That
Yeah.
game looks very cool.
It looks so much
like
different.
it.
Like it's so unique
It
compared
is.
to
Yeah.
traditional.
I love
indie games.
Hotline
Yeah.
Miami,
Yeah.
and it looks like a stealthy Hotline Miami.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to see what they do with that game. We're gonna focus a lot on, or we're focusing a lot right now on like major releases. But yeah, that's not to discredit like the Nindies
Yeah.
Expo that they had.
Yeah.
Absolutely watch the Nindies Expo video they did. It's it's awesome, and it's like boom, boom, boom,
Yep.
boom.
Yep.
You know, I thought they nailed it on that direct. To be like, this is coming to Shovel Knight. This is coming to Stardew Valley. This is coming. Escapist 2. Runner 3 is going to be exclusive to Switch.
Yeah,
Yep.
Which
That's
is
gonna be nice.
an awesome grab, by the way.
Yeah.
Runner 3, really? People who love those games will probably... It's a niche install base, but will probably grab a Switch.
We also got Lego
Or
City
will already
Undercover
have a
coming out.
Switch. Lego City
City
Undercover is
Undercover.
coming to everything now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Including Switch. So I heard the load times are a little garbagey on the Wii U. Hopefully they improve that on the Switch.
I mean, with the cartridge-based thing, you would assume that it would be significantly faster.
I think Lego
Yeah.
Worlds is also coming to Switch as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting.
There's no,
date yet,
yeah.
but there's no way it's too much longer because they already dropped it on Xbox One and PS4 recently. So,
Yeah.
and then we also have after Splatoon 2, you kind of get into like fall and winter titles, and if we're looking at that, then we have to look at I just saw that list Spelunker, and I was like, Spelunky?
I know. Yeah.
Then you got to get into like Mario's coming out in the holiday. And then you have Xenoblade 2 is apparently coming out in 2017.
We'll see.
We'll see about
Yeah.
we'll see about that. I would not be shocked if that game gets bumped to early 2018 and ends
Yeah.
up being like a March title. But Mario has to come out in the holiday. And then you also have Fire Emblem Warriors is coming in the fall as well to both Switch and 3DS. So I'll be interested to see how that game turns out. I thought
Terraria?
Hyrule Warriors was good. Terraria
It's
is coming as well.
sometime this year.
Interesting. Minecraft's story mode is coming. There's no way that the regular Minecraft doesn't just come to Switch. That'd be a huge mistake to just
Exactly.
bring the story mode. So
It is owned by Microsoft, though.
Yeah, but they've brought it to everything else.
Yeah, that's,
I mean, they continue publishing
Who knows?
that and the story mode on
yeah.
PS4 and PS3. So, and then they put it out on Wii U as well. So we'll see. I can't believe that game's not on 3DS, but now they finally got a console that they can run it confidently on.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And that game Overcooked is coming. That game is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely check that game out when it drops. But yeah, so that kind of knocks out some of the big titles. And actually, yeah, now I'm seeing Minecraft Switch Edition is on IGN's page as TBA 2017. So we'll see. I wonder if that's going to be the 360 PS3 version or like the PS4 Xbox. It has to be the PS4 Xbox One version.
Yeah.
There's no way. The world size is bigger, and that game can run on a toaster. There's no way they can't run that thing on the Switch. And then Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 also coming to America. It's supposed to be 2017, but we'll see on that one. I heard there's some weird frame rate issues with the Japanese version on Switch, and the load times being weird, so hopefully that's all figured out.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
so I think overall, really good look for the Switch's first year. A little sparse in areas, but they kind of fill that in with like Nindies. But we need to see more third-party stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Because that's where it kind of makes or breaks the first year.
We're even seeing some like pretty high budget indies coming in too, with like
Yeah,
Snake
man.
Pass,
Yeah.
Ukulele.
Snake Pass looks awesome.
Yeah,
And ukulele
Ukulele
looks
all
great as
yeah.
well.
I mean,
If ukulele hadn't been on Switch, that would have been a huge mistake.
yeah, seriously. But
Just with that rich heritage of
exactly,
the developers working on it
Banjo-Kazooie
at
looking.
64.
Yeah, exactly,
No way.
exactly. So
So that would have been a disaster. Could you imagine?
no.
There's been a rumor that Crash Bandicoot is not a PS4 exclusive,
What?
and that it's
Interesting.
first on PlayStation.
I don't need to buy a PlayStation anymore.
We'll see. We'll see. PlayStation Ireland created this whole confusion over whether it's an exclusive or first on PlayStation, and they've since like deleted the tweets and are insisting that it's exclusive.
Blame the Irish.
So we'll see. But could you imagine if Crash Bandicoot not only wasn't an exclusive, but was on Nintendo Switch and you could
be
play
so
Crash Bandicoot
incredible.
wherever?
That would be.
I mean,
that would be
Skylanders.
awesome. Skylanders.
Skylanders.
Oh
is on-
God, that's and you can play as Crash on the Wii
Yeah.
version.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
we'll get a little bit of that remaster. You know?
That'd be
find
nice.
out. We'll find out. I don't know. Yeah, so just I guess one more thing we kind of want to talk about since we're talking about upcoming things is the Virtual Console.
Please don't mess it up.
First of all, it's okay that it's not out at launch. I don't mind.
Yeah.
Zelda's occupying all of my time.
Real talk. Who's
Yeah.
gonna play Mario 1 again instead of playing Zelda Breath of the Wild? Not me at this not me at
No.
this moment, sir or ma'am. Not me.
Yeah.
Not me. But Virtual Console has to hit at some point. There's no way it doesn't.
Yeah.
This year. It
Yeah.
has to this year.
This
Has-
is all going to be speculation, by the way, because
Yeah.
we really have gotten nothing from
Yeah.
Nintendo about it, other than it's not going to be there at launch.
Wii U Virtual Console actually worse than Wii Virtual Console. Have to say.
Yeah.
Very disappointed by Wii U Virtual Console. Some perks, like when they launched Virtual Console on Wii U, which also I don't believe was launch day. They had some of the games for like 30 cents each month. They did
Wow.
like Kirby and Metroid
That's awesome.
and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
For 30 cents just to kind of celebrate Virtual Console. But they have to do it soon.
Yeah.
They can't wait forever. And it's apparently being developed by the guys who did the NES Classic Virtual Console emulation. So I'll be interested to see how they kind of work with
Yeah.
the Switch and make. But the NES Classic, like the games run like awesomely on that. They run perfectly.
They look awesome. Yeah.
Even like the people who have hacked their NES Classics to run like
Everything.
unauthorized games, they like run awesomely. But it has to be top notch.
Now, since we're dealing with kind of like a home console, portable console hybrid,
Yeah.
do you think we're going to get home console games? Do you think we're going to get some Game Boy games blown up or some original DS games blown up? Or, you know,
Oh yeah.
You
Well,
did?
There's speculation of Pokemon.
here's the thing.
That was only Game Boy.
DS and DS titles I just can't imagine. It'll be tough because the thing is they have to nail it. Like it's
if they come out with DS titles on the Switch, that's essentially saying that, hey, you may only get a year or two more out of your 3DS.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, the 3DS's hardware is so old at this point.
Oh,
It
it's
is.
so old.
It is.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised. You know, they've said time and time again, oh, no, the 3DS isn't going anywhere. Unless they come out with a new one.
Yeah. It's,
Sales of the Switch will dictate that. for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
for sure.
Exactly. And
Strong first weekend sales or first week sales in general are really kind of really put a dampen like they damper the future of the 3DS.
Yeah.
But we'll see. If Fire Emblem Warriors is coming to 3DS, I wouldn't be shocked if that's like one of the last few first party or
Yeah.
like major releases for the 3DS outside of like that Pikmin game that's coming out, and that game who no one can ever remember the name of, but it's like an RPG. It's gonna drive me crazy. It looks really good too. Fuck. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, just if you look at like a list of upcoming 3DS titles, it's like very, very dim.
Yeah.
For the future of that system. So I just can't imagine unless they announce some stuff at E3, which is
Who
a
knows?
huge
Yeah.
mistake.
I mean, well, that's only a few months
Don't
away.
do that. You have a console now that you need to succeed. They
Yep.
can do both.
Yeah, splitting the developers on different platforms.
To have games
would
that
Yeah.
are like
That'd
that
be
new,
a
the new
huge
Fire Emblem
mistake.
coming out in May, that not being on Switch, like the same day, huge mistake.
Yeah.
First mistake. Now they have a Fire Emblem coming in 2018, but
That's
not
so
now.
far away.
So
That
Virtual
is-
Console, I'm interested to see what they do with home consoles. I think the word going around forever is GameCube. Like, will we see GameCube?
I think we will see some GameCube games.
Yeah.
It would be.
I mean, there are some really good GameCube games.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, when we were leading up to like the months before the launch of the Switch,
Mm-hmm.
I would have told you time and time again that I think it'll be there on launch because I think that not having a Mario game on the console at launch would be a big problem. And I think that Zelda has lived up to has been better than even I expected it to be.
Yeah.
But I still
Absolutely.
think that, you know, not having a Mario game on the console, like, you know, you look back to the N64, Super Mario 64.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that
One of two launch games, by the way,
Yeah,
for the
which-
Nintendo 64.
yeah.
Yep.
So I think that if they really, I would have sworn back then that, you know, hey, they need to have something, so they're gonna have, you know, Super Mario Sunshine,
Yeah.
Super Mario Sunshine
Virtual Console.
would be a very good game.
and they
That's
didn't.
got to be one
And
of the
they
lead out
didn't.
ones.
yeah, it
And
does
and
have
I
to
think
be.
I think
If they
they've-
do GameCube, that's got to be one of the lead out ones.
Luigi's Mansion.
So, yeah, Luigi's
Luigi's
Super Mario
Mansion was a launch title
Sunshine.
for the GameCube.
Yeah,
And people wonder why the GameCube didn't do so well is because they were like, Luigi's
but that game
debut.
is so
that game is awesome, but they were like, we're not going to put a Mario game
the
on
3DS
launch.
one's nowhere near as good. But
No, it's not. Oh
But
my
the
God.
original Luigi's Mansion was incredible. So I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Super Mario Sunshine. And, you know, even if they come out with that in June, if they come out with that in, like, Virtual Console in June, that's still 6 months before Super Mario Odyssey.
You know, that'd be a good fit
True.
for Virtual Console. Yeah, like June.
But-
All
Yeah.
those. I mean, that's probably their target. They haven't released like a target release date for it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but June seems like a safe bet just
Exactly.
because
Summer, you know.
There's
Yeah,
nothing
middle of summer.
locked in for June yet.
Yeah.
I had nothing in June.
And
So yeah.
I mean, they're missing out, to be fair, you know. And I think right now, everybody's so hyped about Zelda, but, like, not everybody's going to get Mario Kart. Not everybody's going to get Splatoon.
Have you seen like the adoption rates for Zelda compared to the Switch?
Isn't it like 89%?
89%
Yeah.
of Switch owners have Zelda. I can't believe that number is not 100%. But
Yeah.
of course, there's people
I mean,
that were like, I just need the hardware at launch.
I just want Bomberman.
Dude, Bomberman's.
I didn't get Bomberman.
I didn't get Bomberman either.
Bomberman's
I can't-
pretty good. Haven't played the story mode multiplayer though. Just like playing Bomberman
That's awesome.
back in the day.
That's
Super
really good.
So definitely check it
I
out.
think
Cringeworthy dialogue, but really good.
we'll look forward to seeing Virtual Console in the next coming months. I
Yeah,
think.
definitely.
I think
I
we
would
can
love to
almost
see some.
expect it at that point.
What do we think's guaranteed console-wise? Like running through it, NES.
I don't think we'll see NES.
I don't think we'll see any-
especially with the NES Classic.
You don't think we'll see it
Yeah.
at launch, or
I don't think we'll see it immediately.
Yeah.
but like later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or you know, who knows? Maybe they'll literally just port over the software from the NES Classic and say,
I can
"We're tired of
imagine, yeah.
producing this. Here's 30 games
Yeah.
for."
And then add stuff like later.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I could see NES at launch. I think NES is a given. I think we'll probably get like 3 games. Like three or 4 NES games like right away.
If we're aiming for June for the we're probably not
Yeah.
going to see a Double Dash because
No.
Mario Kart's coming out.
No. Yeah.
So that's pretty much out of the picture. Even
Well,
though
for-
I would
for launch,
love
we think
Double Dash.
Super Nintendo at launch.
I would
Super
love to
Nintendo?
see Super
I
Nintendo.
think Super Nintendo games
Super
would be at
Nintendo
launch.
GoldenEye.
That's
Oh, that was 64. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Super
Yep.
Nintendo. If we saw like Super Mario Land, or even the All Stars collection, that
I
was
just
really
really want
good.
the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game.
Oh, Turtles in Time. Is that the one?
Oh,
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
so good.
If I mean,
If you've never played that, go play it. It's incredible.
Earthbound, I just can't imagine, because there's a lot of rumors floating around about about Mother 3 possibly getting a translation finally in the States, like an official translation.
What about Undertale?
We'll see. That game's not on anything else. Could you imagine if they were like, oh, let's put Undertale on the Switch?
That would be.
People have to have Undertale on the Switch.
People would be like, he is Ness.
All those
Sans
no.
is Ness.
Let's not
That
get-
everybody.
let's not get into this. Definitely. I think Super Nintendo at launch of Virtual Console. N64.
Well,
At
what I
launch of
said was
Virtual
GoldenEye.
Console?
we may see,
To point out, no N64 Virtual Console on Wii U at the launch of the Virtual Console.
really.
None.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't even know if it has to be natively out on the Virtual Console on Wii U now, but for the longest time, it was in Virtual Wii mode.
The Wii, yeah, I was gonna say the Wii had Virtual
Which is the
Console
weirdest
for
thing.
that.
You could import your N64 Virtual Console games from the Wii, and they would add titles to the Wii, and then they finally stopped that, and you can import them.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was really strange.
That is strange.
I don't know if they ever figured that out. I don't know if to this day that's figured out. Like, you have to boot into VWii to play N64 games.
VWii.
That is, yeah, VWii, virtual. It's the weirdest thing.
That is strange.
You know, people hacked just the virtual Wii side of the Wii U.
I think that if they
the
are gonna do
longest
like
thing. That's so funny.
a reasonable Virtual Console launch, GameCube will have to be included. I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there will
With-
be more games.
But is GameCube launch
I think.
a Virtual Console?
I think so.
yeah.
You think like 2 games or 3 games?
I
think
think
more
2
than
or
that.
3. Yeah.
I think 2 or 3.
I think
Luigi's
more.
'Cause
Mansion.
There's no way
I
they
would-
float.
I think
there's
more
no-
than that.
I would be shocked
Super
if
Mario
it
Sunshine.
wasn't Super Mario Sunshine, Luigi's Mansion, and then a third-party game. A
Star Fox
third-party
Adventures.
GameCube. No, Star Fox. That game probably won't come out to Virtual Console ever. You might get Assault, Star Fox Assault, which was way better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree there.
I think probably like a third-party GameCube game as like a third title.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
they can't
or like Kirby Air Ride.
Oh,
Air Ride.
that game.
Kirby Air
I had
Ride.
forgotten about that game.
Kirby Air Ride, Mario Sunshine, and Luigi's Mansion. For
I think
the
we can.
three
I think we need to see a Donkey
first
Kong.
titles.
I think we need to see a Donkey Kong game.
But there was like Donkey Konga. Oh no!
That-
you know what?
You could play your bongos
they'll
with
do-
this with the
I
They
think
won't do
Joy-Cons.
Luigi's Mansion at launch because they'll do that Wario game they did.
Oh.
Wario Land for the GameCube.
yeah,
Oh God, yeah.
I think
That'll
we
be
need to
it.
see
And people will be
Donkey
like,
Kong.
"Oh, it's lackluster," but it's GameCube, so we'll get more GameCube stuff in the future. So, because that's just kind of, I hate to say it, but the Nintendo way.
Yeah, you
of
can't
doing
just release
things.
all the great games.
Because it
on
won't
the
be like,
first day.
here's 20 GameCube games and they're all amazing. Because you have to kind of trickle it out. Like,
Yeah.
look how long it took them to put Pokemon on the 3DS and just Red and Blue and
It is
Yellow.
so bad.
It's insane. They made an event of it at retailers. Like, retailers had Pokemon Day to be like, Red, Blue, and Yellow are coming to the 3DS.
Well, and then let's release special 2DSs for it too. Like
Oh,
they did
Japan.
all of that stuff.
I have the Pokemon
Those
Green
are
one.
so cool.
And it's super cool, and it came with a town. Or I think it came with a town map or something.
Really?
And, like,
Oh, that's
a bunch of other
nice.
stuff.
That's
it came
really
with like
cool.
a way to get Mew in the game, and like
Just
without
do the
without
glitch.
breaking the game.
Just do the glitch,
Yeah,
yeah.
doing the glitch.
That's the best part.
I thought that was really interesting. But yeah. So all this other stuff came with it. I think Virtual Console probably June.
Yeah.
If not June.
Has to be before Christmas then.
If not June, yeah. Then.
But then we wouldn't see
fall?
Super Mario
Push it
Sunshine
Yeah, then we would
because
fall?
yeah.
I guess.
I
And
think
then,
if
yeah,
they got
you
that
wouldn't see-
close, yeah,
they've
they-
got to do. They've got to drop like Mario Sunshine as like a Virtual Console title, or like a Mario game as a Virtual Console title before Mario Odyssey. Get Mario 64 on Virtual Console if Mario Odyssey is going to be a 64-esque game.
Yeah. Well, and then if they have to deal with the hardware issues too. We have digital triggers now. We don't have analog triggers anymore, which is a
Yeah,
major problem in
weird.
Super Mario Sunshine. So are they going to somehow do it with software? Who knows? Maybe that's what they're struggling with, and that's why it wasn't on launch right now.
Maybe.
But I do think we will see it eventually. I think there'll be a fix eventually for it. Somehow.
You might just not see like that functionality.
That would be such
That
a
would
missed
be-
opportunity,
yeah,
though.
that would
That
be.
that literally
We'll see.
decides how weak or soft your spray was in Super Mario
What
Sunshine.
if they turn it into motion controls and you press the trigger and then
Please
you
don't fucking
move the
ruin my
and then you move the whole Joy-Con?
Don't ruin my game.
I could see
That would
doing
kill it for a
that,
lot
which
of-
would
I don't
be-
like that
Which
at
would be very
all.
bad.
We'll see. I think Virtual Console's just a total case of we'll see, but I think we've kind of put some ideas out there for what we'll hopefully see at the launch of Virtual Console. And I think, just really quick, I want to get your guys' opinions on Switch overall before we end this thing. I want to put it out there. I think the Switch is a great console. I think it has a lot of room for improvement in a lot of major ways. But I think for the time being, like, if you don't have a Wii U and you're like, what do I play this new Zelda game on because I have to play it? Like, why would you buy a Switch? Or why would you buy a Wii U?
Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
There's no point.
Yeah.
There's 0 point.
Yeah.
So I think that the Switch is a must-have going out because if you're a Nintendo guy, absolutely. Like, they've got a bunch of great stuff coming out, and I'm sure a bunch of stuff that they're going to announce at E3 and going out. But hedge your expectations for now. You're not going to find one in the wild for $300 unless you luck out.
Yeah.
And you're only going to play Zelda on it for now. So I think...
Or snipper clips.
Or snipper clips.
Yeah.
I mean,
which
I
is a
play a little bit
must-buy.
of Fast RMX.
Shut
'cause
up, Kevin.
I like racing. So
Well, I think for the masses, the best time to drop in on the Switch is a little bit later this year when
Yeah.
there's more
Yes.
stuff on it.
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
June.
But I think $300 is a good price point. I think they're
I think it is.
I think
too.
they're at a good point right now. So I'll let you guys kind of do your final.
So if I had to give it a number out of 10 right now,
No, give it a number out of 10.
you don't want to give it a number out of 10?
I hate number scales.
Why?
Eight number scales.
Because that one guy gave it a 7 out of 10 on IGN, and I was like,
Well, I'm gonna give it a number out of 10 just for
that's
the
fine.
sake of
Go
people
ahead. Give it a
understanding.
number out of 10.
I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 right now.
That's pretty good.
I think that I haven't really experienced the hardware issues too much. There are some problems. The UI is a little bland right now. I think that the launch lineup was a little bit small. I think that the Virtual Console games that are coming, or the eShop titles that are coming, are looking really good. And I see a bright future for this console, and I see the portability aspect, and the split controllers aspect, and even the motion control aspect being really bright for the future of this console. So I give it a solid 8 out of 10 right now. And there are some improvements they can do that could easily bump it up a little bit too. So.
Yeah. Cool.
So for me, I mean, I love it. It's probably one of my favorite consoles right now. I mean, yes, launch titles were a little weak, but Zelda, I mean, yes, it's my first Zelda. I'm loving it.
Popping that Zelda cherry.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, the UI is a little bland. I wish there was more customization to it. Like, you can change your background. I haven't experienced any of the hardware. So, like, with the dead pixels or the blue screen of death or having any issues with the left Joy-Con. I haven't experienced any of that. I mean, I love it. I mean, I can set it down in the dock, play it, and then when I have to go to work or somewhere, slap the Joy-Cons on and take it with me. And just play there. When it's not busy, of course. So,
Yeah.
but when it's like dead,
Oh, I wish I
I'm
could
on-
do that at work. I've taken mine for breaks at work, and being able to kick back and throw in a little time on Blaster Master
Yeah,
on
we
a
just-
break. Oh,
yeah, the other
10
day,
out of 10 right there.
I had one of my coworkers. We went back into the kitchen, sat down on a nice table there, and just played some Fast RMX.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, it's so crazy. It's really surreal.
It's my favorite
It's
console right
different
now.
than everything else.
It is
we've ever
very
had
different.
before.
Yes.
So I want to put it out there, and then we're gonna end this. Nintendo, back question mark?
I think so. I think so with how they with games and how they do with the party chat, of course.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't really care about like a micro hooking a microphone in there and just talking that way. I wouldn't mind just having I can invite you to a game. I would have that, and maybe just have like a text. I wouldn't mind that. I mean,
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like a
That'd be-
messaging app.
yeah, just a messaging app.
Do you think we're
Like,
gonna
so we
get
can-
swap note on the iPhone?
Yeah, dude. So I can
So
send
people can
penis
send,
pics to Kevin.
send dick pics. As if they can't already do that. Right? We're just gonna crudely draw dick pics.
I mean, but But I think Nintendo this console has a lot of potential in it. I think if they play their cards right, I think they can come back.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, and they've already in the first week outsold the Wii, which was their best all-time selling
Fair
console.
enough. Chris,
I think-
Nintendo : back question mark?
I certainly hope so. I think that Nintendo just has this aura around them that, other hardware manufacturers and other, game makers, it just doesn't have the same magic to it, And I don't know if that's nostalgia being like, oh, Zelda, oh, Mario, But I think that I can't compare Uncharted to Mario games.
No,
Well,
it's
it's-
just totally different.
like
different.
I mean it is, but I mean like that's like something that sells the system. So and I think that when it comes to Mario Kart, those games are so iconic.
They are.
And I think that being able to take full-fledged versions of those games, put it into a tablet-esque console, bring it with me, play it with a friend on the go without carrying around an extra bag or whatever, I think that is so far and above. That's like so forward-thinking for them.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's also been some stuff going on right now with like, Sony maybe coming out with something similar.
Yeah, I saw the patent.
So
and the interesting thing, that patent is from like 2015.
Yeah.
So totally on the same wavelength at the same time, but totally separately operating.
So I
think that's really interesting.
I really do think that this style of design is going to be the future
Gaming.
of
I
gaming
agree.
in
I
general.
agree.
I think for sure, yeah.
I
And
agree.
I think, the days of like, hey, I'm so tethered to my TV, I think that's like slowly going away. And I that is a bright future
awesome.
for me.
Between
That is a
VR
very
and
bright future for
Switch.
me.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how gaming changes
So, yes.
with like the introduction of the Switch.
I guess my answer is yes. I think
I-
Nintendo is
General
back.
consensus, Nintendo's back, baby.
Woohoo!
Chris and Kevin, I would like to thank you very much for
Thanks for having
embarking
us.
on this journey with me on the Switch cast, the one and only probably, but who knows, maybe we'll have
Yeah.
more in the future.
Yeah.
But until the next time, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and roll the end slate.